Yes, guys, how you doing? Welcome back to the Spurs Talk Show. How are you? It's Thursday evening. It's been a little bit of a crazy week, has it not? A little bit rat-a-ta-ta. Ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. I hope you guys are all happy and healthy doing the things you love. So much to get through, so many updates, so many things to chin-wag about over the next hour, hour 15 or whatever. It could be 4 hours for all we know. If there's a bomber, we haven't got any bomb. We kind of do. So the last time we spoke this morning, there has been something that's been dropped from one of our favorite ITKs, SZY exclusive, Sizzy exclusive. And it's a little bit wild. You know what? It's that time of the year. I've realized I haven't actually played the jingles for a while. So let's get started with a little jingle, shall we?
Yeah, come on, yeah. Sources, everyone has a source. They're never right, but we'll share them, of course. I know a guy who knows all the discourse. Content's got a content, and trust me, bro, is my source.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. You know, we absolutely love a jingle over here at the Tottenham Hotspur. How's everybody doing, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's been a bit of a while since I've been out because, I thought that Tottenham wanted me, when I was down at Cheltenham. I said, I'm waiting for the call. I'll probably put myself in a little bit of the bad spot with the with the owners, the majority owners, Joe and Charlie and Vivian, is it? Absolutely terrific people. But listen, I did say, that Daniel phoned me and he said if I was still there, I'd have given him a call already. But I said that, sometimes I can't keep my mouth shut, can I? It's not fantastic the way I operate. But, listen, they took it. They brought in Roberto, and he's done terrific, isn't he? Absolutely fantastic. He did. And look. At the moment, it looks like he's trying to get his own band back together, which is sort of thing that I would have done. I think we're sort of cut from the same cloth. Me and Roberto De Zerbi. Absolutely. We know a thing or two about football. We like a deal. I personally would have brought back Dawson. Michael Dawson, absolutely. I mean, what a player Michael Dawson was. And next to him, listen, I've seen a lot of people talking about Destiny Udogie. Is he going to go back to Juventus? Is he going to stay at Tottenham? He's a good player, sure. He's a terrific player, but he's not really on the same level of my left back Benny Asuakotu. I mean, what a player he really was. Absolutely fantastic. And listen, I see Tottenham are looking at players at the striker end of the market. They're looking at Gonçalo Ramos. They're looking at Ivan Toney. Yeah, terrific players. Terrific players for sure. But don't think anyone's quite got the same sort of mark as Crouchy. Well, maybe Tottenham Hotspur should be looking at Newcastle United. Absolutely fair. There's a player up there called Nick Voltemade, I think he is. We call him Walty. Listen, I think he'd be absolutely terrific. He'd be like Crouchy Voltemade. Big guy, but great with the feet. Anyway, listen, I just want to pop on and say hello, say hi to everybody. I'm off for a jam roly-poly. Sandra's got the roly-polies in the oven, and, God bless her, she's absolutely terrific. But it's a two-man job. So I'm just going to say goodbye, and I'll be back right after this.
No chance this happens, and you want to know why. Last time I checked, baby pigs don't fly.
That's the story we're going to get into. I don't know why I picked the no pigs. Maybe the no pigs have to come in because of this story about a little man called Bruno Guimaraes. This is what we're doing today. This is what we are doing tonight, people. My man Drew Zilla's in the house. Does that mean Drew Zilla's not at work? Does that mean if I was to send a little WhatsApp, a little rat-a-ta-ta in the WhatsApp ear to my man? Where is he? Let me see if he can. Let me see, mate. Get yourself on if you can. Absolutely fantastic. Can you join that? Guys, how are we? Listen, I haven't started the show correctly. I haven't come correct. Forgot to come and say hello to everybody. We're just having a little bit of fun on a Thursday night, but there's a lot of stories to get through. A lot of stories. Hey, Roberto De Zerbi, he has said that he wants a player. Do I need to go? Probably do need. I'm going to save it. I'm going to drop in a little bit of Roberto De Zerbi on the old face camaroo because we have to. We got to look at what's going on, and there is a hell of a lot going on, guys. A lot going on. Van Hecker, Jan-Paul Van Hecker is in the. He's in the building almost, isn't he? I think not Newcastle, Brighton wants 70. Oh, look who we've got. He's here. He's here. There he is.
Hello, mate. I just got the caveat. You actually caught me in my car on my lunch break, so I've got about 15, 20 minutes, but I don't have any earbuds, so I don't want to be an echo. So if I'm an echo or cause for an echo, let me know.
No, you're absolutely fine, mate. You're absolutely fine. How are you? How are you doing?
Doing all right, mate. Doing all right. It's my Friday this week. Cheeky, because I work 4/10s. So I always have Friday off, and I've also got Monday off. So I've got a little 4-day weekend coming up. Everything's I'm just chilling out, just being an absolute
content, watching shameless clickbait content.
So basically, yeah, like knocking one out for Bruno G. What are we doing? big up to the chat, big up to the chat. Don't forget to smash like, subscribe. Yeah, how are you, bud? You all right?
Yeah, good, actually. Before I get into it anymore, just give me 10 seconds. I forgot to say, please, as Drew, do what Drew said, right? Smash like, subscribe, and drop the bell. A little notification squeeze. Got content's got to content. It's got to content. But also, guys, OK Jersey is down below. Sean 15 at checkout gets you 15% off. Now, apparently, they are out of the away kit or something that they're out of stock, or they've had I don't know. So maybe that wasn't the actual official kit. Something's happened with regards to the black kit, but they're updating their stock very, very quickly, and it'll all be done as soon as all these kits are done. All the new next seasons, all the last seasons that were still there, all the last 25, 50 years of all the retro stuff, that's all there, as are your Jeremy Jacquet. So get over to okjersey.com, code Sean 15 at checkout gets you data guy, right? Gets you code 15 at checkout, gets you
15% off, 15%. And I did ask about 15 people, and they did say that you need to go 3 sizes up. 3 sizes up.
Yeah. So before we get into Drewski time, Spurs Hub over there, above Drew's face over there, SpursHub.co.uk. We're getting towards 1,000 people now, 1,000 members. So it's growing really quickly, guys. It's got all of your content, all of your fun and games, all of your predictions, all of that stuff. There's so many features growing and coming out every day on it. I'm spending all the time I've got in the world trying to build it out. So if you like just a one-stop shop of fun and Tottenham-related stuff, get over to the SpursHub.co.uk. Drew, when should we start, man? We've got 15 minutes.
Let's get all the V's out of the way, because I've been on that all morning. Let's get the V's out of the way. Let's get them all in. I'm here for it.
This one. What are we doing? Are we excited about Van Hecker?
I love it. I think it's fantastic. I think you need a solid foundation, and the one thing that we can safely say is for the last couple of years, I know it's been like a lot of transitional goals have been conceded, but our back line has left a lot to be desired, be it in the form table or in the injury table. So the fact that your first 2 or 3 signings are, to get that a lot more solid. I'm a fan of Robinson at the back. I've been thinking about it, like bringing him in for the leadership as well. I'm a fan of Senesi, and I think for all intents and purposes, it's done. And he's, there's no chance of a hijack. I think if we can keep Van de Ven, get Van Hecker in, I just think that's a fantastic options. I can see, I think Danzo will stick around, but I can see Dragusin going. Because you've obviously got to give enough game time for enough people.
Danzo sticking around, but Dragusin off, yeah?
I think so. Yeah. I think Dragusin's got to get his career back on track. And I think at the moment he's already potentially fifth choice. So if you get Van Hecker come in plus Senesi, I just think that's maybe pushed him down the pecking order even more, really.
Yeah.
And if we had Europe, if we had a Conference League or a Europa League, then you maybe keep him around given the injury issues that we've had. But I just don't see how you keep everybody happy with the games that we've got. So you got to do something.
Do you? How much do you think you could get for Dragusin?
What did we pay for him? Do you know? Do you remember?
35, was it 35?
I mean, if somebody said 12 to 15, I'd probably bite your hand off, to be honest with you.
How old is he now? He's still only young, isn't he?
I guess he is, right? He's only, what, 22, 23?
He's 24 now.
Oh, okay. I mean, still young for a centre-back, isn't it?
But when you go, oh, he's only young. At what age do people stop saying, oh no, you're not really anymore? It's about 24, isn't it? 23, you're still deemed on the.
I genuinely think it depends on the position, mate. To be honest with you, because I think for a goalkeeper, I mean, even to me, 30, 32 is fairly young when you consider some of them go to like 38, 40. I think central defenders, I think 27, 28 is when you maybe start hitting your peaks, so maybe 29, 30. I think the midfielders and attackers, you've maybe got to have a little bit more legs. So I don't know. I think it's varied depending on the position, to be honest.
Yeah. No, I take that. Yeah, I definitely take that on board. But just sort of generally, I just feel like once you hit 24, no one's saying that you're a young player anymore.
Right.
Unless you're a goalkeeper. Yeah.
And I guess, I guess that's a lot to do with... That can also depend on the amount of play time that you've had, right? Do you know what I mean? I mean, young can refer to the amount of games, but not necessarily how old you are in terms of your career, you know. But no, as far as Van Hecker goes, I was to say I'm down for it, mate. I'm down for it. Although the Netherlands didn't have the greatest of fucking times against, I think it was Tunisia. Didn't they lose 1-0? So,
who lost to Tunisia? Holland.
Yeah. Yeah, in their World Cup warm-up.
I haven't seen any of these.
Maybe it was Morocco.
Was it Morocco? Was it?
Yeah.
There's a couple of good players out in Morocco. There's that fellow who plays. There's a fellow who plays for PSV Eindhoven, Saibali or something. What's his? Hang on, PSV Eindhoven's best. Let me look at their squad. Saibari, that's it. Sorry, Saibari. The guy. He's a 10. He can play a little bit everywhere. He's a big lad. Apparently, he's going to Bayern Munich. Oh, well, have you seen Joey Veerman at PSV Eindhoven? He's 27. He's a midfielder, right? And I want to let me share because we're talking about in a minute. I don't know how much time I've got with you, but like we're talking about
about another 10, 15.
Let me show you that because we've got this other story out, right? We've got this other story out with my man. I think he needs to say hello. Actually, hey! It's me, Roberto Di Servi.
Fucking hell! You sound like fucking Mario. It's me, Mario.
I'm so excited to see you all. My friend SZY exclusive. He said he dropped on a bombshell earlier on that I went to Johan Lange and I said, hey, you want to know what a player? Rather than you go after all of the players that you wanted before I came here, there's a player. There's a player that I wanted you to go get. I don't want to hear no. I do not want to hear the no, and it's my man Bruno Guimaraes from the Newcastle. He's fantastic. He's absolutely fantastic. He's absolutely.
Oh, Jesus, that's really fucking weird. That is weird. That is a challenging wank. Jesus Christ.
What do you reckon about Bruno Guimaraes? I mean, what a player!
I mean, to be honest, I think you and I think we've said it in the past. You kind of got to take your hat off to Jack Kinecki for that one because he spotted him at Lyon, right? I think he was mentioning him a good couple of years ago, and he was like, "You need to go get this boy."
No, longer, like 4 years ago.
That dude is, he's one of those. He's one of them there, what I call a catalyst, Sean. You know, not a consequence. You know, one of them ones.
I know, buddy. I know.
I would be down for it.
Everybody that comes on the content space, they all come up with their own little catchphrases that they come up with. You know, yours is a catalyst or a consequence. He's a catalyst.
Yeah, absolutely. I would take him every day of the week, twice on Sunday, please.
And what do you reckon?
What's realistic? Because we were literally just talking about what you asked me if I'd ever Joey Veerman, and now all of a sudden we're talking about Bruno G.
Oh, well, the reason I asked is because of this, right? So this is like the data MB. I long for the days that I want AH refs or FB refs, sorry, to get back to figure out whatever their problems are with Opta and sort out their API, but. These are like some of the names, right? We're linked with Angelo Stiller, we're linked with Fagioli, we're linked with Alex Scott, we're now linked with this geezer. We're not linked with Veerman, but I just want to sort of put it out there that in terms of on a stat for stat basis, yes, of course, it's a Dutch league, but then you can make the argument that Stiller's in the German league, you can make the argument Fagioli's in the Serie A. And look, I just want to point out, right, the weakest of all of them. In terms of stat for stat, 20 in over the top best 5 leagues or whatever, top 5 leagues, Alex Scott, we're looking for a passer. His passing range isn't particularly sensational, right? He's in the bottom. Where is he, Alex Scott? He is in the bottom 20 percentile relative to all other midfielders for forward pass completion, which is something we're looking for. Key pass is 35th percentile, and this is a guy that used to be a 10, by the way. 10 moved back to an 8. Progressive party if bottom passes bottom 30th percentile. I'm not saying I don't like Alex Scott. I'm saying I do like Alex Scott. But when you kind of bake these things in and then you sort of take him away because he's terrible, these other guys, they are all kind of good at similar things. But the one outstanding guy there that wins the ball back is a monster 6 in terms of dual percentages with 1 and possessions 1. But he's also the one of the best in the game in the top 5 leagues at progressive passes and key passes. Is actually probably the cheapest of them all in Joey Veerman. The only problem with Joey Veerman, Drew, is that Joey Veerman he's not particularly fast. Like he's like Tommy Huddleston style, right? Like an an unbelievable passer. But Bruno G, let me get that screen back up. If we just go back, just get rid of these for a second. It's a decent wheel, but it's not sensational, is it?
Right. And I just wonder, Sean, I don't know if going for Senesi and his distribution and his ability to play out the back, and then you hear about, I think there was a couple of people talking on the radio this morning about Van Hecker and his same about, it might even have been you actually, I was listening to, the same sort of ability. I mean, that leads me to, plus you've got good ball carriers like Robinson. I mean, if he's asked to play a decent amount of minutes, I mean, he's very good. There's one thing he's very good at is taking the ball up the field. You mean Robertson? Yeah, Andy Robertson. And I just wonder, with those, even just adding those 3, with their passing and carrying ability, and then the fact that you look at those graphs and you look at the likes that, there's whispers of a Belieber or something like that. I don't know. Is it absurd to think that he's not necessarily looking to completely bypass the midfield, but I think he's looking to play with almost like quarterback-like central defenders, and then just having a couple of people just like breaking just some disruptors in front of them.
Yeah.
So I don't.
But does that make the Carlos Belieber story make more sense then?
I would think. I think it does. I think.
Passer. So if you're going to hand off, if you're going to abdicate the throne of passing to the centre backs, and then you just need a destroyer in front of them. Right. It's a very specific model. Like this is one of the things that the takes that I've been growing in my mind as I've been thinking about it and repeating myself a few days running now. I genuinely feel like some of the transfers that I'm sitting there kind of going, I don't really get it. I get it, but I don't get it. Like the Savio one. Then I kind of go, well, actually, for that to work, then you need other things to be put into place here. It's like a jigsaw puzzle.
Absolutely.
And now that you see Savio's almost done, and then you wake up today and you go, oh, Van Hecker's coming or possibly coming.
Right.
And it's like, how unusual is it for Tottenham to go and drop? Like, first of all, I was expecting, because one year left in his contract, I was expecting like 35, 25, 30, 35 change left over from the Romero sale. And it looks like Brighton wanted 50. And according to SZY's exclusive, he's saying that Tottenham came in, and this other Dutch thing called Voteball or something, this Dutch outlet, said that Brighton basically rejected the bid, but it was so close to what they wanted that they kind of went, "You're not far away. Let's have a conversation." So maybe it's all part of like a grand plan to your point,
I mean, he did have a dream. He said it. He said it himself. You listen to his words. He had a dream, a plan for a dream team. Like, not necessarily like the dream team in terms of like Galacticos, but he had a dream of what the team was that he wanted. And the fact that he's, going back and pillaging, potentially 2, possibly even 3 players from his former club, it's, I could see, especially if you go back to the Lewis Dunk interview as well, previously said when he first came in, it was kind of like a little bit difficult. And then all of a sudden people were grasping it. If you can add to the fact that he's already had somewhat of a mini pre-season, and then you start bringing in players that are already familiar with what he's asking them to do, then I think, he's looking to hit the ground running, not only in the transfer market, but as soon as these guys get on the field as well. And just to add to that, what you mentioned about sort of the jigsaw puzzles and stuff, you look at the balls that Senesi plays out from the back sometimes, where he completely bypasses the left back and the defensive side of the midfield and goes straight out to the winger. And he's got some phenomenal pings a lot passing out to the left-hand side. And you think that, with the pace of somebody like a Tel, or if you can put Savio back out there, and I think you've got the potential to be able to launch some pretty nasty attacks from the centre-backs out to the wings, like we used to with Alderweireld when he used to ping it through the middle to Delhi.
Right, if you've got scenarios next season, again, I know you don't have time to discuss this with me. I'll discuss it with the chat later, but I think that you have to pick partnerships in that centre back spot, because if you were to say go Senesi and Van Hecke, then for me they're both unbelievable in the same departments, and they're both weak in the same departments. Like neither of them are great in the end, neither of them are particularly fast, but both of them are sensational with the ball at their feet.
Right. I see like a Senesi Danzo, right? Senesi Danzo, Van der Ven, Van Hecke.
And then Van Hecke, Micky Van der Ven, something like that, exactly, right? But at least you have one centre-back, and also you have the keeper who's competent and capable of drilling the ball deep into the channels. And those sorts of things.
And whispers of Verbruggen as well, right? Bar Verbruggen.
Mate, I love Bart Verbruggen. I think he's such a well-rounded goalkeeper. I think he's one of the best in the Premier League. For me, to have him come in and compete, if he's willing to come in and compete, and if it turns out that actually on the basis of merit, you're actually on the bench at the moment, Bart, are you okay with that scenario?
Right.
If he's okay with it, I'm okay with it. I think it's class.
Yeah, absolutely.
I still can't get my head around the Carlos Baliba story, but you actually kind of, what you're just saying there, Drew, it kind of does maybe ring true a little bit, that if you want your back line to be the guys that are creating that sort of passing network, then you could just have someone in front that protects. And retains the ball and then hands the ball off to people around them, sort of like what Polinia was brought in to do.
Yeah, it's kind of like a young version of Polinia, right? Although, I think he kind of got a little bit of stick. I saw him do a couple passes that weren't bad, but I guess on a percentage basis, maybe he's not exactly where you want pulling the strings. But yeah, I mean, if you can get him to pass it off and he kind of works on his 15, 20-yard passing game, and he's quicker with it, receiving the ball and how you receive it and just popping it off quicker. I can see a scenario where that, as I say, Baliba makes sense. But I'm with you with the whole sort of opportunity cost vibe. I think that's going to kind of be the thing. You can't waste any. This club cannot waste any more money. So 60, 70 million on a Baliba, just that to me is a little bit rich. But then, if they can make it work, and who am I to say how they spend the money? Just don't spend it poorly. If you can pull all these things together and amortize stuff and bring in everybody that you want to bring in, then fair play.
Who do you think? I mean, if it costs 50 million to get Verbruggen, if it costs 45 to get Van Hecke, if it costs somewhere around 45 for Savinho, that's 95. Obviously, I know there's going to be things where you structure the payments and all that stuff, but it's just easier just to keep it simple. That's 95. Freebie for Senesi, freebie for, although you're probably going to have to put in like 5 million each on like fees for the agents, fees for the players, whatever. So let's say another 10 million quid there for those two players. So that's 105 million. Where do you think we go next? Do you think you go to a Carlos Belieber next, or do you think you then move to a striker, a 10, a right winger? There's still work to do, isn't there?
Yeah, absolutely. And if the rumours are to be believed, and it's true that we've been offered Gonçalo Ramos, and he would come in a heartbeat, without a shadow of a doubt, because then you start to look at being able to play, Tel potentially on either wing, Savio on either wing, being able to beat a man, put a cross in, and know that you've got a number 9 that knows how to, knows how to work a penalty box, knows how to work a 12-yard box. I think you become infinitely more dangerous, and there's just so many options where the wingers can flip sides during the match. You can even, once he gets back to fitness, hopefully you've got Kudus then as well, that isn't afraid to go to the byline and whip a ball in. So I think if you can put something resembling a decent striker in there, Solanke just isn't just not it for me. Richalison, the last couple months especially, he's just shown, especially in the last few weeks when he was told he wasn't going to be in the Brazil squad. And his game wasn't great anyway, but it just went to absolute shit. So for me, I would sort out the defence, and the next thing I would be thinking about is you just snap up the best centre forward you can, because there's not exactly an abundance of them, is there?
No, well, I mean, there's a lot out there. I just think that every one of them comes with their own, there's pros and cons to anyone. I don't think it's a clear-cut sort of choice, but you have to sort of bake in. I don't know, if you're going to get Francolino Jew, for example, right, the guy from Midtjylland, he comes with an injury proneness now that I don't think is necessarily understood. Samu Agahawa, like the player that Tottenham were linked with all last summer and all last year, is that guy over at Porto? Is he still the guy you want to go for? Is he kicking goals? If he's not doing as well as Guacamole did in by a half as good in Portugal, and then Guacamole sort of struggled with the acclimation process to the Premier League, despite having all that talent around. What does that mean for Samu Agahawa?
Right. Who was the big kid? I can't remember where he was from. It sounds like Akliouche, but it's not. I think he was a big striker. I think he ended up going to Forest. He was linked with us, and then he was linked with a bigger club, and then all of a sudden went to Forest, and then he's dropped off the club. I've not heard from him since. Calimuendo?
Oh yeah.
Like what? Because, and the reason I bring that up is just because these sorts of strikers are said one season or one summer you're like, oh yeah, this guy, and then he'll make a decent move, or he'll make the move that you think the right move, and then he's never heard from again. I mean, I don't even think he
now, doesn't he?
Who?
He plays for Frankfurt now.
See, I didn't even. How's he doing over there?
Oh, I don't know.
Right. Do you know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. There's so many sort of these up and coming strikers or players that you hear about, and it's just.
He went on loan. No, he's still a Forest player. Sorry, he's on loan. Okay. He's on loan. He's back at Forest now, I guess. How did he do? He got 6 goals and 1 assist.
I mean, it's not bad, I suppose.
In 20 games.
Right. And I just think that's the sort of, you say there's a lot of strikers, but it's a lot of strikers just doing those sorts of things and getting those sorts of numbers. And I don't know.
You wouldn't get a Dusan Vlahovic though, no?
No, that's one V I think I'd steer a little clear of. Because it looks like he hasn't really done it for Juve, and he wants a bigger contract.
Yeah, how fucking greedy is that? Bro?
I mean, what are we doing here?
You're already on insane money for Italian football. You haven't done that well. I want some more. I want more. What are we doing here?
It's little fucking Oliver vibes. Little Oliver twist. Don't know about that. Hey, listen, mate. I got to head out. I got to get back to work.
Love you, mate.
Love you too.
Thanks
Big up chat. Smash like,
buddy.
subscribe on the way out. Don't forget to hype the video, and maybe I'll see you again over the weekend.
Cheers, Drew.
Nice one.
Have a good day.
Love you.
Mate.
Take care, bud. Nice one.
Bye.
Peace.
What a legend. What an absolute legend he is. We love him. Big up to Drewski. Absolutely fantastic. Let me get some super chiddly chit chats done, and then we'll get back into more stories. Apparently, SZY exclusive has come out and said he regrets putting out the Bruno Guimaraes story because it was never going to happen. But it's nice to see it's nice to see our manager having high standards. Hey, Issa me. Who we got here? We got someone else coming into the background. We got Hugo. Big up to you, Hugh. How you doing?
All right, mate. Just had to wait for Drew to naff off first, you know.
Why?
Can't steal the limelight, mate.
Listen, let me just do some super chilly chit chats, mate, and then we'll get into it, buddy. We'll get into it. Big up to Dries. He's on the screen as well. He says, I want all of the V's, Sean. Love you, buddy. Smash like, subscribe. Big up to Drew. We love Drew. He's an absolute legend.
Yeah,
part of the channel, part of the furniture. Big up to you, Drew. Thank you very much. Box Kev, my man, Boxy. Where is he now? Is that Malaysian dollars? I don't know what it is, but he's putting a giant super sticker. I think it's a giant one. I don't know. 200 MXD, whatever that is. Big up to you. Thank you so much. See, appreciate you very much, mate. Choo to you, bro. Choo to you, buddy. I hope you're okay. You must be on holiday again or out on business or somewhere. Or maybe you've just left your VPN on. Yeah. What were you doing? Watching some Malaysian? I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what you're up to, Boxy. Big up to you, mate. Thank you very much indeed. 6'6" creative. What a name. We've got a new member of the show. Big up to you, 6'6" creative.
How tall do you think he is?
He's either incredibly tall or it's one of those ironic nicknames where you're, like where you call someone Big Steve when they're actually about 5'3". You know?
Yeah.
Big up to you. Big up to you, buddy. One Spurs King has also put in a member for 4 months. He says, are we talking about Bruno Gerhard when we saw Bruno G? Bruno Gerhard.
Yeah, you remember.
Who was that? Was that a Liverpool
Sacha
manager?
Baron Cohen's character.
Oh, was it? Oh, that's that guy. All right. Okay. Who was the? Was there not a Gerhard? Anyway, big up to Spurs King. Thank you very much, mate. Choo to you, buddy. Shay Bryant says, Sean, what do you think of the young Dutch winger Mike Oxmall?
Never heard of him.
Mike Oxmall. Very good. You gotta listen, mate. You have to wake up very early in the morning to catch me in bed, sunshine, okay? I see these things coming a mile off. Big up, buddy. Big up, buddy.
Good.
Very good. Nice try. Barry Bandana says, trying not to worry about the seeming lack of interest in some of our deadweight. We'll need sales to keep spending. Let's pause on this one for a minute there, Barry. Let's bring Hugo in on this one. Are you concerned at all that it's all inbound, or is like it's okay so far, isn't it? Get the players in before you get the players out.
Do you know what I'm more concerned about? And you'll have to excuse me for being perhaps a little bit thinking this way. Is do you know what the season ticket deadline is for the renewals?
Oh yeah, Saturday, isn't it? Saturday or Sunday?
Sunday, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyone see all these names falling off a cliff come frickin' Monday morning?
Possibly, mate. It's absolutely possible, isn't it? Very,
no, I
very
mean, look,
possible.
with the names that we've been linked to so far, it would be amazing if we get in like half of them, you know. I just, you know, I hate to think this way about, you know, about Spurs or whatever, but we've seen it so many times before that there's always some sort of like agenda which always boils down to making money for ENIC, right?
Sure.
So that's my.
I wouldn't put it past the PR cut. The PR, like, I'm sure these conversations are happening, but I certainly wouldn't put it past them to be running these stories a little bit early, a little bit premature. But it doesn't mean that they're not happening. But like, you know, why hasn't the deals for Robertson and Senesi been signed yet? Like, you can still sign the contract. You just can't officially register. Well, you can announce it. You just can't register them. I remember like a couple of Christmases ago, Liverpool was signing players in December. Like, it was like, here we go, confirmed, all signed and packaged, and they just couldn't arrive until January the 1st and join the squad. So I don't really understand what the issue is. You know, I know Senesi's at the World Cup training and stuff, but if he's already signed it, then great. Then just announce it. If he hasn't, then it's not done. And
well, Senesi,
have to wait until July to get Senesi in. Is that what we're doing?
Senesi was in. There was a picture of him in Spain, wasn't he? He's not in the Argentine.
Oh, was he not? Did he not make this? Did he not make the team? Oh, fair enough. Maybe I'm wrong.
So.
Yeah.
I think there was a picture of him in Spain or something.
Yeah, fair enough.
At least the number plate was. I think the number plate was E. So yeah, España, right? Is the Spanish European play E, or is that?
How the fuck do I know?
Estonia.
Why would I know that?
Well,
you bloody crusty baguette. What are we doing here?
You live in Europe these days.
Oh
Can't be that long till since you were last on the Costa
Listen,
del
when you turn on your local news, do you hear news from your local area, or do you hear news from New York and news from? Genuine question. I'm not lining up for some bands here. I always wonder. I can't remember when I lived in America whether I would see.
Depends, it depends. Like you're talking about, like just regular terrestrial TV.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then you'll get like your local, like whatever, Fox or CBS or whichever your local whatever is. So there'll be like national, and then there'll be like local.
Yeah, I can't imagine if English TV started if ITV News at 6 started sort of going European continent wide, like what happens in America, and like you're in New York but you're hearing about national news about what took place in Los Angeles yesterday. I don't think we'd ever get off the news like this. By the way, in Bulgaria last night there was riots. In Germany yesterday, there were riots. In France, there was chaos about this. So I think you'd never turn the news off if they were showing continent-wide. Anyway, we're drifting.
No, but I mean it's there's it's I don't know, mate. It's all. I mean, if you really want to get depressed, switch on the like 24-hour news.
Yeah.
Yeah. Always find another excuse to pull another fingernail out. It'd be lovely.
Anyway, Barry Bandana, by the way, great name, Barry. I'm not worried too much about the lack of any interest in our deadweight. I think that Romero's 100% going. It will be interesting to see now that Iriola is confirmed this evening whether or not Liverpool are going to prioritise any moves. Are they going to try and do anything with regards to Nessie? I don't think so. That seems like it's done. According to reports, there's no threat of a hijack. But Micky van der Ven is definitely all of his family are Liverpool fans. So if they came in for a bid for Micky van der Ven, then that would be interesting to see what happens there. What
if it was turbo cash, we'd do it, wouldn't we?
How much would it take for you to be okay with Micky van der Ven leaving?
80.
If you're paying 50 for Van Hecker, you'd only want 80.
80, I don't know, 80, 90. I mean, what's Van Hecker's injury record, by the way? Is he all right?
I think so. I haven't heard anything about his injury record being bad.
I mean, because what's the gig with De Zerbi when he usually plays? He plays with a slightly higher line than he did when he was looking after our games before, didn't he? When he was at Brighton, doesn't he play with a slightly higher line than he did with when he was just trying to keep us up?
Who?
He doesn't play like suicide football.
De Zerbi?
Like Postecoglou, yeah.
No, it's high though. It's a high line, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, you're gonna need some pace, aren't you, to just in case your line gets broken.
Andrew, Mark, Kinsky, you're all saying 70, 75 million for Micky van der Ven. I'm not on board that. Like, if we're paying £50 million for Van Hecker, sorry, like Micky van der Ven has unique specificity that is difficult to replace and is necessary for highline football.
Micky van der Ven has speed.
Yeah.
What else you got?
He can run with the ball.
Yeah, and then half the time he gets tackled and then he's out of position.
That's true. That's true.
Then the other half of the time, like he's having to run because he was in the wrong position to start with.
Well, that's true as well. I don't think Micky van der Ven is as good as everyone else. It seems as people that don't watch Tottenham as much as we do thinks he is. But if Van Hecker is 50 with 1 year left on his contract, then Micky van der Ven with 3 or 4 years left on his contract must be worth 100. Must be.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Do you think he is going to sign a new contract then and have an out?
I believe he'll sign a new contract, and I think it will be for the same purposes as was what Romero did. Yeah, I'll sign a new contract. I'll go to 250 a week or whatever, 200 grand a week, and then you put in a clause to sell me for 80 million next season or 75
million. So here's
million.
a question for you: with Romero's contract, if for argument's sake, we turned back time and pretended like Thomas Frank had done a decent job and we qualified for Champions League this past season, would Romero still be off?
Yeah, I think he just wants to get out of Tottenham. Yeah, I think it was a stepping stone for him.
Okay, so irrespective of like how the club did, you just think it was just a matter of.
Well, no, I mean, if we were in a title push, if we like finished second or third or something, and we were really doing it, then maybe he'd stay. But like, I mean, it's a different reality. But I think personally that Micky van der Ven sees himself playing for one of the best teams in the world.
Yeah.
I don't blame him. I got no issue with it. I do have a problem with some of
No,
his
what I
behaviour.
do blame is all the rest of it, the histrionics and everything else that went with it.
Yeah, I agree.
Like he just became his own, like, you know, one man travel, you know, like Punch and Judy show.
Yeah,
honestly, it was embarrassing, mate. Absolutely embarrassing. Just primarily because, you know, I mean, it would be bad enough if it was just any old player on the squad, but the club captain, it's just embarrassing, mate.
Let me do the rest of these super chats quickly, mate. El Dan Torino's in, member for 25 months. Big up to you, mate. 2 years, unbelievable. Over 2 years. Lloyd Christmas would say, no chance Bruno G happens. I think I've got it. So you're telling me there's a chance thing somewhere in here. Have I got it? Or someone's deleted it, I think. Whoever's been in my StreamYard has deleted it. Absolutely outrageous. Outrageous.
Wow. And fuck me.
That'll do. Big up to you, El Dan Torino. James 119 has put in a super sticker. Unbelievable stuff. Thank you very much. Choo choo to you, Jimmy. Appreciate you, mate. And Harmless Potatoes also put in his super chat saying member for 9 months. He hasn't said anything. He's just saying thank you. Well, I'm saying thank you to you, mate. Big up to you, bro. Big up to you. I want to ask you this, Hugo. Right, Hugo. What are we doing here, Sean? Get your head in the game. Where's my data MB? Here we go. Let's do this. How do you like this as a team? Someone just put in the chat, what's your thoughts on Gibbs White? If this was our starting 11 next season, Bart Verbruggen in goal. Let me zoom in a little bit for you all. Micky van der Ven, I've squeezed him in at left back, but you can mix him in there with Senesi. Van Hecker and Pedro Porro. I know that he's not going to come. It's a joke, but I just put him in there anyway. Bruno Guimaraes, Conor Gallagher, Savinho, Gibbs White, Kudus, and Ramos. Let's change him for someone more realistic like this guy.
That's the Stuttgart guy, right? He's handy.
He's brilliant. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Or someone like, how do you spell it? There we go. Is that how you say it? Yeah. This guy at Sporting, right?
The guy that's suddenly going to Everton, apparently.
Going to Everton. Morten Hulman's going to Everton. What are we doing here? This guy is an unbelievable player. I thought he was going to be going to City to replace, to be the eventual sort of handover method for Rodri. But obviously,
I thought that's what whatever his name is.
Nico Gonzalez is, yeah. But then also they're looking at Elliot Anderson as well now, aren't they? So Hulman's deems like he wants to come to the Premier League, but no one else really needs him. I'd take Hulman all day long. And I think Tottenham need a midfielder like Hulman more than Everton do.
My question to you is, I love the look of that team, which, you know, there would be no reason if it was properly coached why that couldn't be a top 4, top 5 side, right? It should be. Let's be honest. I don't know what the value of that squad would be, of that first 11 would be, but you know, it would be like definitely in the top 4 or 5, wouldn't it? I think
so. People are reminding me that he's a gooner. He's an Arsenal fan. Listen, we've got an Arsenal man on the checkbook writing situation. We've also got an Arsenal man. I was
going to say we're Timu Arsenal, aren't we? Basically, this stage.
Well, let's change that one. Then how about this one? How about put in James Garner instead? Right, someone like that.
Yeah.
Okay. And this will be our first 11. I know we wouldn't get both of them. Let's just go for Angelo Stiller and put back in Bentancur for continuity's sake. As a first 11,
put Gallagher back in? Because and there's a reason for that. Is let's say that, you know, if that team were good enough, right? We've then got to actually start to think about being good enough to qualify for Europe, and therefore what the requirements are to have, you know, your homegrowns, right? At least start thinking about it, because you'll remember that we got absolutely rogered.
Yeah, we did.
And we ended up like, what was it? Having three? How many keepers was it on the bench? 2 keepers, so that we could, you know, do whatever. And there was like a bunch of kids.
Yeah, I think we had 3 keepers, didn't we, on the bench? Okay, let's put in that this. Okay, fair enough. Let's go for something like that then, right? Alex got in there then for the homegrown thing. Okay.
Yeah, or Wilson.
This will be our first 11.
Harry Wilson counts, doesn't he, as well?
Harry Wilson. Well, yeah, no, I don't think he counts as homegrown for Europe because I think he's Welsh, isn't he? But I think he does count for homegrown for the Premier League. But let's just leave it because obviously they can fit into the second team. Where does that team, and chat, let me know, chat, give me a number between 1 and 20. Where does that team, if they have relatively good fitness, finish next season? Well coached by De Zerbi. What are we talking about here? What are you saying, Hugo?
Well, what I want to know is who are our subs, because the typical Spurs thing is that while the first 11 can look competitive, there's usually a massive drop-off with the quality that's on the bench, right?
All right, let me
and
get,
more times than
get
not,
a second team up.
more times than not, we pick up, you know, at least 2 or 3 important injuries. So I'd be like, okay, well, you know, who else we got? And the rotation piece, so that, you know, you don't run the players into the ground, which admittedly with no Europe, we shouldn't do. But even so, I'd still like to think that we've got, you know, quality on the bench or coming off the bench toward the end of games as well, you know?
Let me figure this one out then.
So I guess on our bench, we've got the likes of, I guess.
So I've got to change one of them and make that guy Archie Gray, maybe.
Well, you got Tel. Tel would be a winger to come off the bench. I guess Udogie ain't going to be back until what time? March, April? How long?
Let me change. Hang on. Let me change this team here. Let me put Micky van der Ven on the bench and put in, let's say, Andrew Robertson. And let me put van der Ven in there.
Or Udogie,
and then on the bench team. On the bench team, we put in Senesi. Because Senesi and Danzo will partner together. And Van Hecker and Micky van der Ven will partner together. Udogie on one, Robertson on the other, Spence on one, Porro on the other, Kinsky in one, and maybe Verbruggen on the other. Bentancur, Gray, Maddison, Solanke, Tel. We just need a right winger to slide in there. Who would be the right winger? Because I know Udogie is not going to be fit.
No. Well, and of course, you know, Kulu, we have no idea if he's even going to be able to play again. Otherwise, you'd probably start him right wing, wouldn't you?
Yeah, so maybe you go and get someone like this geezer. And then you got 2 teams, mate. And you got 2 teams. And don't forget, you've also got Udogie, you've got Xavi Simons, who doesn't get on the thing. You've got Kulusevski, you've got Richalison, you've got Romero, you've got no Berghvall in there. There's,
that team ain't finishing top 4 or 5, but I would say that team is at least competitive enough to be like fighting for, you know, like probably Europa, right?
I think that squad's about as good or bad as we've had all season, pretty much.
Yeah, I'm just talking about like if that were your starting 11.
But that starting 11 though, what are we doing here?
Tidy. That would be a tidy 11.
Yeah,
that would be all right. Although I think, well, yeah. Would you want Robertson starting ahead of Udogie?
No, listen, I just picked either way around. It doesn't bother me.
No,
I like Andy Robertson.
I'm just asking, like,
I like Andy Robertson. I think it'll create balance and all that stuff. I want to also just pivot this. Have you seen the free transfer list this summer? Some decent players on here that haven't yet.
Extensive.
It's fairly extensive, yeah. Ibrahim Konate. Wait, is it on the screen?
Yeah, well, he's just he's
about to go to Real Madrid, isn't he?
With Real, hasn't he?
That's right. Yeah. Dusan Vlahovic wants 400 grand a week. Good luck. Harry Wilson. I take. Oh, well, that's probably. I don't think he's coming to Tottenham. I think he's going to Villa, isn't he? But that probably is like I wouldn't be surprised if Tottenham tried to do that. He's a free transfer, right?
Yeah. This is assuming, of course, that we don't have Johan Lang, still as DOF. So we've got a chance of, actually getting in some proper footballers.
Yeah. Who else you got on here? Anyone else on the free transfer? Or they've been gobbled up already? Let's have a look. What am I doing here? Here we go. Show that tab again. Marcus Nessie, we know where he's going. Bernardo Silva. Where's Silva going? Is he staying at City?
No. He's it's Spain, isn't it? Was it somewhere in Spain that they were trying to get him? Was it Barca or was that another?
Let's have a look. Bernardo Silva performs transfer U-turn after Manchester City exit as agent issues statement. I think. Oh, well, can't they just tell me what happens in the fucking title? What's it saying here? The Portuguese star has just called time on a decade at Manchester City. He opted against signing a new deal. Where's the agent?
Linked with like Barca most.
Bernardo will decide after the World Cup, so he hasn't made his decision yet. Okay.
So Barcelona have a long-term interest and remain keen. That was in the next paragraph from what you just had outlined.
There's a lot of players on this list, though, right? Julian Brandt is not the player he used to be. What a player he used to be. Bemba Dieng, what a player he was. Leon Goretzka, Bayern Munich. We were linked with him in January.
How old's he now?
31. He would easily adapt to the Premier League. He's a big, strong midfielder.
Yeah.
Bigger, stronger, faster. Frank Kessie.
Oh, yeah, he was the business back in the day.
We were linked to Frank Kessie for ages. He was ex-AC Milan.
Yeah.
Alan St. Maximin. Remember him?
Newcastle, yeah. He had wheels on him. As far as
Rudiger's staying at Real Madrid, but Christiansen's a free transfer. We don't need another centre-back. No more centrebacks.com if we sign Van Hecker. We're doing it.
Well, if we sign Van Hecker, Vuskovic has got to be going back to Germany, right? On loan.
Would you take Robert Lewandowski for a year?
No.
37. No?
37, was injured a bunch this past season. All we're short of is another injury-prone striker.
Yeah. True.
Like a hole in the head.
Memphis Depay. He went off to Brazil. He banged in the goals Memphis Depay did in Corinthians. Absolutely smashed it.
Yeah. Well, he'd get on with your buddy Simons.
Adama Traore?
No. I mean,
Pellegrini?
He'd be
Pellegrini on a free transfer.
Really?
Where's he going? Let's have a look. Pellegrini.
How old is he?
29.
Huh.
What are we doing here? Como interested in Lazio fullback Luca Pellegrini. Wait, is it Luca or Lorenzo Pellegrini? Which one is it?
Lorenzo.
Lorenzo Pellegrini.
He's at Roma.
Where is Lorenzo Pellegrini going? Oh, he's going to stay.
Like new contract.
Maybe, yeah. Or they've started the contact talks.
Or the old agent game of like linking him to a bunch of different people so he can get a better contract at Roma.
Tottenham Hotspur are ready to launch a decisive attack to sign AS Roma midfielder Lorenzo Pellegrini this summer, according to... This was in February. According to who? According to Calcio Mercato.
Oh, well.
I don't mind. I think he's a great player, mate. Great player.
Yeah, look, I mean, the thing that we are short of is, like quality. Technical quality is like MIA from our team. What I'm really hoping is going to happen is that somehow our man Pape Matar Sarr has a decent World Cup and we can sell him for more than a can of Coke and a bag of skips. You know, because at the moment, like, what do we pay for him to start with? Like 20 mil or something, was it? Was it less than that?
For who, sorry?
Pape Matar Sarr.
Oh, yeah. I think we paid like 12 million for him, but I think you could probably get 15 to 20 for him. I think he needs to move on, to be honest.
Yeah, I do too. But my point being is that I hope that he has a good World Cup so we can max out on a bit of value for him, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Tottenham apparently have been offered, according to reports in Italy, Tottenham have been offered Jonathan David to Spurs in an exchange for Vicario and Destiny Udogie. 26-year-old Jonathan David failed at Juve, having left France. The geezer scored so many goals in France, so many goals in the Champions League, so many goals in Europa League, smashed it. I mean, how many goals did he actually get in the? I don't think he barely played, did he? Let's have a look. Jonathan David, he scored. Jonathan David for Juventus this season, he played 53% of starting 11 minutes in 35 appearances. He got 10 GA, 6 goals and 4 assists. Smaller than you think, 1 meter 75. He only played. Oh, he got 8 goals and 5 assists in total over 2,239 minutes. So 13 in 2,300 minutes. That is less than a goal or an assist every other game, isn't it?
Isn't he? He's not very. He's not exactly a specimen, though, is he?
What do you mean by specimen?
As in, like, in the Premier League, is he going to get bullied?
Well, he's a small guy. He's like he's 1 meter 75. What's that, like 5'10", 5'9"?
Well, it's not only that though, but he's slight, isn't he?
Yeah, he can handle himself though. He's not like he doesn't get brushed off the ball. He's fast. In his final season at Lille, I remember looking at him thinking, "You've really upgraded your game." So I always used to say, like, you know, he's got areas of his game that he excels at, but there's some massive things that are missing. And then in that final season, he just decided, I don't know what he did. He worked on areas of his game that he hadn't before. Just looked more well-rounded. But then he leaves France and goes to Italy. And for me, I think that Vlahovic was keeping him out of the team, and he was signed to replace Vlahovic. But Vlahovic ended up staying for that final year of his contract. And so, but like I say, to get 13 GA across the Champions League and the Serie A over 2,300 minutes, that's about 180 minutes a goal or an assist, right? Which is one every other game. So it's not too bad. Not too bad. I think he's the sort of person that probably wouldn't sort of set the world alight, but I think he'd sort of contribute. I think he'd be a player that you kind of sit there and go, I didn't think he was great last season, but actually his stats weren't horrendous. You all right?
Yeah, the chat, I'd swap Lang for a jelly bean.
Yeah. A couple of super chats here. A user says lots of links. We'll wait for shirts to be held aloft. Speaking of shirts to be held aloft, guys, don't forget to go to OK Jersey, code Sean15 at checkout, 15% off. You can't get better than 15% off anywhere on any of the links. So make sure that you do drop that code in at checkout when you're getting yourself some World Cup kit, clobber, or some retro stuff, or next season stuff when it launches. Big up to them. Big up to you there, a user. And Treve Lello says, I'd swap Lang for the tea lady. Yeah. Well, listen, I do want to just take a pause for a second, Hugo, and say, like, I know nothing's done yet. Hi, Doggy. How you doing? Which doggy's that, by the way?
Smudge.
Hi, Smudge. Hugo, I do want to ask, mate, am I going a little bit too soon here? Because none of these things are confirmed, but fair's fair. Like, if those 4 players are signed, if we sign Van Hecke for 50 and we've gone straight into a negotiation knowing that Van Hecke will be of desire to many other teams, and we've gone straight in with a reasonable bid, a reasonable fee that I would say is probably too much, and it's that close to the line that they were looking for, that Brighton have gone, okay, let's get this done then, to try to get in front of the competition, because we don't want to get gazumped. We don't want to see what happened last season with Eze and all these other guys. like, should we be saying like, all right, I know nothing's done yet, but if it turns out that all 4 of those sign up, Tottenham clearly have been the busiest in the early days of the window. The window's not even open yet. Should we be sitting there kind of going, look, we're going to hold your feet to the fire, but for what it's worth, if you get these 4 players over the line and you get them done at decent prices and before the World Cup starts, like, fair play.
Like, credit where credit's due if that's the case, right?
Summer, but like, fair play, good start, yeah?
Yeah, like, good start. I mean, what I would question is how many of those players are deservies. The answer, probably 1, right?
Well, who? Van Hecker?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I would also make the argument that if any manager comes in and says, do you want Senesi on a free transfer? They all say yes.
Yeah, I mean, most people should do, right? If they've got a,
I don't know of any manager that would say, I don't want Senesi on a free transfer.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, as far as what the rest of, like, if those 4 can come in, it's a great start. No doubt. All I'm wondering, though, is, like, what the rest looks like, because while we'll be a lot more resilient defensively, then what I'm petrified about is just that we've got hardly anything in midfield, really. We've got Madders, who, as you like to refer to him as, 33% or whatever it is.
That's not me. That's Johnny that says that, but yeah.
Johnny,
Big up, Rain.
Oh, all right.
All right.
How did I end up here? I'm not sure.
I pressed a button.
Oi! I take it from so many people. Right? We're taking Micky out of you, Hugo, not yes. How you doing, guys?
Yeah, we're just having the conversation around whether or not if those early 4 transfers all come in, like, fair's fair, right? You've got to give the board a little bit of credit. We're quick to criticise, and rightly so. But if they do sign the 4 out of the traps early, and there's still a long summer ahead, it's a bloody good start. There's not really too many people that are going to sit there and say that Savinho. I mean, I make the argument that Savinho for me is, like, on output wise, he hasn't proven himself to be any better than what we have. But certainly there's potential there, and certainly I think it starts to make sense when you think of it from a jigsaw perspective, with, like, the ability for ball playing centre backs and a 6 or whatever to come in and be able to get the ball down to him on the corner, out on the wings. I think that having dual threat on the left and the right, Kudus on the right, Savinho on the left, having centre backs that can ping it into them direct, deliberate, low driven balls, it catches teams out. It makes them more difficult to double man mark. I see where the logic is behind it, and I think that Savinho with a little bit more space might be able to turn into something more than what we've seen of him in the Premier League. And I think that Senesi, I was just saying, if you go before you jumped on, or whilst you were jumping on, Rain, I feel like Senesi for me is an obvious one for everybody would sit there and say that's a great signing. And I think Van Hecker is one of the better centre-backs in the Premier League, and certainly one of the best passers in the Premier League. I'm still a little bit surprised by the price point, but that's fine. If they've worked the maths on it and they think it's worth it, then so be it. And I think Andy Robertson is also solid for not just on the pitch, but I think more obviously off the pitch. I think that those sorts of levelling ups of the kind of the way that you handle yourself as a professional, I think those sorts of things rub off on a young squad. I think it's a really interesting.
Do you know about the price point, though?
As
far as the price point goes, Sean, you'll have to remember that Tottenham Hotspur isn't exactly like top destination desirability right now, right? It's a heck of a lot more desirable now that De Zerbi's there. But even so, we've had 2.
It's a bit like Atlantic City, it's like it's got a lot of potential, but it's a bit run down, needs a bit of upgrades,
That's right. So to that end, like if you have to go in and you have to, pay face value right now, I don't feel like we're exactly negotiating from a position of strength.
Yeah, and that's the point I was going to ask, and I'll let you come in, Rain. Like Tottenham realizing that if Van Hecker is available for 1 year left, they have to go in and make don't insult Brighton with a ridiculously low bid. Yeah. And Daniel Levy would probably go in and say, here's 20 million, and Brighton would say fuck off. Whereas they've gone in with 48 or 45, whatever, which isn't far away from what Brighton want. It's punchy, but it's probably the right strategy to get it done before the other clubs come sniffing.
I mean, are we getting to the point where ENIC Why is Hugo getting shorter and shorter and shorter? What's going on?
Oh, sorry, mate. I'm having to try.
Are we getting to the point where we're accepting that ENIC 2.0 might not be exactly the same as ENIC 1.0? Are we getting to that? Because I'll be honest. I've been there for 6 months, right? Easily 6 months. I have, absolutely, and I've been saying it.
What were they doing in the previous 5.5 months that made you think that they were better than the ENIC 1.0?
I see what they're doing is correct. Unfortunately, they're still making mistakes. And, obviously in January, they didn't do stuff that they should have done. But what they did do, if you get me, right? What they did do was good. So getting rid of Johnson, good. Getting Conor Gallagher, good. But what they didn't do was not good. Do you see
I hear your point. I hear your point. Yeah.
And even in the summer last year, if you actually look at it, right, Xavi, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, but that was more opportunity than like.
Yeah, but fine. Kudus, good, right? That's a we get a Eugene Prem proven player, right age, right kind of ambition. Even Moani, although he's been an absolute
bust,
yeah. But even at the time, it kind of made sense,
I was on board Colin Moani when he came in. It didn't work out.
Yeah.
But as a you never know what's going to happen, do you? But you go with your best foot forward. Yeah.
You don't get 100% hits. You can't. You have to accept that there aren't, even Liverpool in their pomp didn't get 100% hits. Right, going for Eze, going for Morgan Gibbs White. Okay, they didn't execute, but those were the right type of players for us to go for. And now this getting Robertson is the right thing. Getting De Zerbi. Oh mate, I watched a 2-year-old. This is De Zerbi ball video from somebody today. Oh. It's so good.
Is it?
It's so good. I'll forward it.
Yeah, no, I think what they're doing. I'm not going to sit there and. Sorry, Frank. Sorry, Matt.
No. Yeah, this 2-year-old. This is how he plays it. If we mirror or if we replicate any of that they had in that, the way that he had Brighton playing triangles, one-touch football. Passing round the corners. If he gets them playing anywhere near that, I will be absolutely on dreamland. It will make up for all of the money I've wasted on my season ticket for the last 2 years.
Yeah, I just had it. I paid for my renewal today. Painful as it was, but
a lot less painful now. You know that De Zerbi's still in charge.
Yeah, look, and as far as the ENIC 2.0 thing goes, it's early days. Nothing's done yet. And I'm certainly not in any way, shape, or form buying into they're much better than the previous, because I still think that all of the things that they've said, I find it a little bit distasteful that they are trying to lay everything at the feet of Daniel Levy. There's a lot of things that can be laid at his feet. There's a lot of things that shouldn't be, and there's a lot of things that they pretended that they uncovered as massive problems. I still want to know what those things are. When you come out with all these statements from Charrington and Vinay, and they're all saying the same thing, there were problems that we uncovered, and now we know that they're bigger than we possibly could ever have imagined. What problems? That's just a talking point. That's a political talking point. That's the sort of thing Keir Starmer says, sort of thing Farage says, sort of thing Donald Trump says. It's the sort of thing people say where you don't give details, you just give sort of bland statements, and then it's just rinse and repeated through all of the different media, and then you go, oh no, there was problems. There were problems. What were the problems? What exactly were the problems that couldn't have been fixed by buying better players, spending the right money at the right time? You had enough money, you earned enough money. The guy that you have blamed for everything created and cultivated that money for you. And by the way, we're about to lose 40%, I think it's 30 million or 25 million quid or something off of a shirt sponsorship deal that you haven't yet replaced. When you talk about insufficient expertise in all the departments, there was one specific area that did have sufficient expertise, and it was in the commercial endorsements area of our game. And that has been seemingly left to rot in the last 12 months because all of our sponsors are either expiring or can't wait to get out. And yet I can't remember the last time I heard about a Tottenham's new toilet sponsor or official fucking cider of the football club. I can't remember any of those things. And Daniel Levy, maybe he spent too much time doing it, but all of those things has kept that kind of revenue stream, that commercial revenue jumping up. I wouldn't be surprised if you were to see a massive drop in the commercial revenue in next season's accounts that reflect this season and the season after that reflects next season, not just because of poor contract structures and deals and all those things where because of underperformance on the pitch that the relative values come down, but because they haven't got anybody out there that's negotiating new sponsorship deals the way that they should. Those are the sorts of areas of the revenue that really make the difference and allow you, Hugo, to spend the extra 15, 20 million on someone like a Van Hecker.
Still no naming rights. Still no naming rights.
What was the random one that came in mid-season? Infinox, was it?
Yeah. Yeah, the trading platform or whatever it was, the trading platform that you can't actually access if you're in the UK.
In the UK, that's the one.
It's ridiculous, isn't it?
I mean, I make you right. Sean. You know, off the back of a Europa League win and getting back into Champions League football, that is a springboard for getting more commercial deals. You know, in those first 4 to 6 months. And yes, it although it's gone a bit quiet, there's still clearly a boardroom struggle going on with the Tavistock Group and Levy. Clearly, you know, that's it's looking more and more like Vinay sitting on that couch talking about wine with Levy knew full. I reckon he knew full well that he'd been brought in to get that, you know, to be the Brutus to Daniel Levy's Caesar. I think he knew it.
A two brute. Is that
yeah.
Is that the phrase? Was it you as well?
Two brute.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like Vinay Venkatesh, when you look back and you see that video of him when he was like drinking about the bottle of red wine and going, honestly, like you're so good at what you do, Daniel. 25 years. I've been here 25 minutes, and I don't know how you do it. I don't know. I mean, and he's like, yeah, well, you know, it's hard, you know. But he sounds a little bit like Frank Spencer, doesn't he? Like he's not quite as camp, but he does have that Daniel Levy kind of lisp thing.
What was the name of the What was the name of the magician? Paul Daniels.
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
Yeah.
That's what he sounds like. That's what Levy sounds like.
It does sound a bit like Paul Daniels. But just like the
in terms of
180 on that sort of stuff, though, Rain, right? It's terrible.
But player acquisition and squad building over the last 6-7 months is, again, I'm going to say it, and I have to really sort of caveat it, and it is a nuance. What they've done is good. There's lots of stuff that they didn't do that we nearly paid for. We nearly paid because they didn't do the right. They didn't go and get Lookman, for example. You know, they didn't throw the boat into getting a left winger, that kind of thing. Senesi, great. Van Hecker, I can't believe. I'll be over the moon if we get Van Hecker.
Yeah.
And to your point you were making a minute ago, Rain, about like if you can get back to that 2 year ago version of the Zerbi ball. Clearly, he's come in, looked at the team, and gone, "We haven't got any passers here. Right, I can't play this ball. Like, if you want me to come in, like I'll take a look at the squad, but I'm expecting and probably predicting that I'm going to want serious changes, and what I need is profiles of people that can pass." And what he's done so far. I mean, Savinho is someone that's going to be the recipient of that success, and I think he will benefit from it, especially in a team against teams who aren't going to do the low block against City like they will at Tottenham, like they did against City. But if you can go and get a 6 that can switch hit, and you've got one of those 2 centre backs playing every game, sometimes you might even be able to play them both. I mean,
Xavi and Madders in the 10 playing the Zerbi ball would be absolute. They're going
to love it, mate. They're going to love it. If they've got a centre-back that can drift the ball out of the press, like Van Hecker can beat the press. He glides past players, and then he knows what to do with it once he glides past. In the transition, you're going to have so much space for those front three. It's not always going to work. We're going to get pounced on occasionally. But when we break that press from the front, or from the back, and then you can zip the ball forward into the space that's created from that transition. It's going to be Song Sarr Shanali, and then over to players like Xavi. Let's see what you can do, bro, because you're going to have players around you that now can supply you with the ball, and you then have the ability to run into space, and let's see what you can do, right?
But Xavi's not back till when?
Okay. Xavi, not, you're right, not until probably we won't see Xavi until the season after.
Yeah, but my point being is like that's probably why that if it's truthful, why Gibbs White has been on the radar again, because he can fill in that, that 8-10 hybrid position.
Yeah.
You can play that 10 role, because let's be honest, Maddison, is he going to be able to start every freaking game next season? No.
No, but do you honestly think though that Tottenham are going to be able? So there's two parts to this question. One is, like, you look at what Liverpool did last season, right? And I know Liverpool got more revenue, a higher revenue than Tottenham, and probably lower costs, and suck into the wages. They have a lot of performance.
They don't have a stadium debt to start.
But they dropped that's true. But they dropped like 450 million on acquisitions, but they raised about 180 or 200 back from sales, right? So for Tottenham to go and buy someone like a Van Hecke, like a Senesi, like a Savinho, and then also go and drop. I don't know whether it would Gibbs White. I'd find that one really hard to get my head around after what happened last year. But if it's not him, if it's someone else, like you're getting towards the marker at 200 million pretty quickly, and then you still probably need to go and if you honestly don't think that Kulusevski's back anytime soon, and you're looking at Odegaard and thinking you're not going to see him until probably, given our track record with getting ACLs back, his schedule to be back by October, but that probably means January, right? So then you kind of go, what? Look, we've already done it, right? We did it on the
on the lineup.
Oh, they're here, yeah. So like, you need another right winger. Until like Harry Wilson, or you're looking at an Akliouche or someone. But let's say it's not, because Harry Wilson's going to go to Everton probably, or Villa. Let's say it's an Akliouche, someone like that. That's 60 million. Like Morgan Gibbs White, or someone of that ilk is 80. That's 140, something like that, right? Savinho's 50. So you're getting towards 200 million. There's probably 10 million there for the signing on fees and the agent's fees for the 2 freebies. Then you've got an extra 50 for Van Hecke. That's 250, 260. If you're going to bring in a goalkeeper as well, and you've got to go and find the 6 that we haven't even found yet, whoever that is, whether it's Carlos Baliba or someone else, you're talking about a £300 million window before sales.
And how much are we able to raise from sales?
Well, let's talk about it. What do you think? Vicario?
Wait a minute. Does that outlay include Ramos? Does that outlay include?
No. I didn't even include Ramos on there. No, I didn't. So that's an extra 40. Yeah, you're right, 100%. So that's what I mean. You can't do it all. And so before we get to the sales part, just the final part I was going to say was you can't do it all, but also you do have to keep one eye on what happens in a world where everybody does get fit and everybody stays fit by the end of next season. And then you've got Maddison, you've got Kulusevski, you've got Odegaard, you've got Kudus, you've got Xavi Simons, you've got whoever else you bring in, let's call it Akliouche and Morgan Gibbs White. That's 7 players that are all fighting realistically for 2 positions, the right wing or the
wouldn't you prefer though?
And if you want to include the left wing, you've then got Savinho and say Mathys Tel. So that's 9 players for 3 positions. That's a hell of a lot. That's a crowded squad. You can't do that.
Not for next year, but you know what you can do?
Yeah, exactly.
At least you've got players of value you can sell.
Yeah. Oh, how much time would Maddison have on his contract by the end of next season? Would it be 1 year or 2 years?
Don't know.
Well, it'll have been with us 2 years, so probably 1 or 2.
James Maddison.
I don't know if we're ever gonna, like, even if Kulusevski does come back, like, who knows if he's ever going to be the same player, man.
Maddison's contract is 2028, so if you keep him until next summer, you've got 1 year left on his contract.
Well, then you'd sell him, wouldn't you?
You'd sell him for like 15 million or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll be older.
You can't sell him now because I don't think you can sell him now. He spent a year out injured. He's just getting back.
Right.
But he does all, like you said earlier, Hugo. He does always take like he's not really back to his best for a while. You know.
So we've got 300 million outlay.
Well, plus Ramos.
For that ideal world, you're talking for that ideal scenario. You're talking about 340 million quid. You know.
How many pennies can we claw back?
And then I guess you've got what? So your sales are going to be Romero, Dragushin,
50,
Vicario,
20, maybe 10. Yeah.
Richalison,
70,
Richalison,
90. I'm up
bag
to
of
100.
chips and a Coke.
Yeah.
Pape Sarr probably another 10,
Yeah.
15, 20, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 110.
And then maybe you're selling Alfie Devine. You might be selling an Ash Phillips for a few million. You might be selling a Lancashire for a few million. I don't know. Dane Scarlett will probably be released. Like you might be able to get like 130 back.
Let's say best case scenario, we can get 100 and 150 back, 140, 150 back, right? That's 200. That then means that you've got a net spend of 200, which bearing in mind that they said that you'll remember that they were pumping in 100 mil and that there was more where that came from. Well, great. 200 mil. Thanks. Wakey.
Well, yeah. For that to take place in any. Oh yeah, we've got Yang and Takai. Gibbo, big up to you for saying that. Would you sell? Are either of these guys not going to make it at Tottenham? Are they?
No.
I mean,
the only reason they were bought was for commercial reasoning, right?
Solomon,
Last season, our net outlay was 180.
What's that?
Last season we got 180 million, did we? Really?
Net, yeah. According to Transfer Market, I reckon 150 million.
Basuma, we got to sell him.
No, he's a free.
He's free, is he? That's right.
Although somebody said to me we should give him a contract, and then so that we can get a sale. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
no. We've tried to get rid of this guy for 2 years.
He wouldn't do that because he's giving realistically a contract. That money that you would want to get, he's not going to get himself, is he? So that doesn't make any sense.
Realistically, not all of it is going to get addressed, is it?
No, not in one window.
How much are we getting for Solomon? Brian Hill? How much are we getting for Brian Hill? Brian Hill is still technically a Tottenham player.
No, he's not. Is he?
Is he not? Is he not? Wait a minute.
I think that went through, didn't it?
Oh no, yeah, he did. 6 million to Girona. Yeah, that's right. No, I thought we'd loaned him.
Yeah. How much? He cost us what? 30 million quid plus Lamella.
Yeah.
And then we gave them back Lamella anyway.
My biggest concern about Savinho is that he's another Brian Hill. Is another looks good.
Yeah.
Had good numbers in Spain. Probably do really well in Spain if you go, but just isn't up to the Premier League. That's my concern. However, how similar is he to Mitoma? I don't know. I think that needs an eye. I think that needs a Johnny conversation. Savinho, yeah.
No, I think Savinho for me is a player that has all of the catchy. He's a bums out of seats type of guy. He's unbelievably tricky and technical, but he's got no output, right? And so, he's not the same as Mathys Tel. He's not the same as Odegaard. I think he's more similar to Odegaard than he is to Mathys Tel. But there's obviously a lot of talent in Savinho. But the argument that Savinho, Jim from Oso Spurs, and by the way, there's 1,100 people here watching. Please do smash the like and subscribe.
Really? Wow.
Please subscribe to Rain. You still with Dermatron?
On and off. Not much.
Okay. THFC till we die. I think it's called Till I Die. Go over there, but also Jim from Oso Spurs. Go over to Oso Spurs. Unbelievable. I love Jim. He's a great guy. He sits behind me at the Tottenham. He put out a really decent video the other day about the argument for Savinho, and he looked at the stats and he was looking at where Tottenham's wingers have disproportionate underperformance is in their ability to take on players successfully relative to other people in the Premier League or in the top 5 leagues that can do that. And Savinho does have a material impact in that particular department. And I think that is quite meaningful, especially in a world where we can get the ball on the transition. And so, like I say, I wasn't on board the Savinho deal. I was sort of my first sort of iteration of thought process on it was everyone that's saying no more kids, no more unproven talent with zero output. Don't want any more Tel. Sell Telly shit. Sell Odegaard. They're all shit. We want to establish wingers, and then all of a sudden Savinho comes along, and they're going, "Yep, he's the guy." I'm like, well, and that logic doesn't logic. I'm I'm like an a priori type of guy. The way I think, like the logic has to logic. It's sort of common sense. If you're going to sit there and make out that this has been the problem for years, and then you're now suggesting a solution that is exactly the same model as what you've been saying is problematic, I don't really understand that logic. However, the more I've been thinking about it, I just feel like for these things to work, it's a jigsaw piece, it's a jigsaw puzzle. And for me, I feel like with the centre backs, with the Van Hecker, with the Senesi, with someone in the six that can do the same sort of business, you will be able to get into situations where Savinho has a little bit more space and can drive at players. And if he has someone in the box that's not Richarlison and not Solanke, if he has someone that he can cross to that's very good with positional IQ and basically just usual awareness of where the ball's going to float to, and that might even look like someone like Will Lancashire, by the way, because I think that guy's got a natural tendency to understand the game in that sort of division, that department. But certainly someone like a Gonçalo Ramos, for me, would be someone who could eat up the opportunities that are presented from all these other things that are happening in the strategic transfer market. And so I can't. It makes more sense than less sense the more I see the other things, the other kind of like pieces falling into place. Does that make sense?
And it makes more sense why, and I hate myself for saying it, we didn't go and just get Palhinha. Because effectively what you need for that system to work is a six, yes, who's got the discipline, who will sit, but you need somebody who's got that ability on the ball to just thread it to the wide players so that they can run onto the ball and make that space. And Palhinha isn't that player. The reason why we were saying just get Palhinha is because in the aggregate of, you need this kind of skill set. He gives you that huge amount of numbers in the discipline and screening sort of skill sets, which we don't have anywhere else.
Not to mention, he comes up with some clutch goals, by the way.
Well, he has done, but that we've only needed that because we haven't had anybody else scoring goals.
I'm just saying,
and that's why. There's
a lot of sixes that score a lot of goals, like Frank Kessie, for example. When he was at AC Milan, was a fantastic player that could do that. He went to Saudi Arabia. I don't know. I've not kept an eye on him since he's been over there, but he's now a free transfer. He always scored loads of goals. Morten Hulman, the guy we spoke about earlier, Hugo.
But then Morten doesn't.
No, Morten doesn't score any goals. No, doesn't. No. But Morten Hulman is a player that can sit there and be the monster six. He can spread the play, pass the game. He's not particularly super quick, but he does get into nice advanced areas outside the box at the tail end of moves. He's a late box crasher as a six. And he contributes. I remember the goal. I think, was it a goal or did he rattle the crossbar in Denmark against England? Was it in the Euros or the World Cup a couple of years, maybe 4 years ago or 2 years ago? And I paid attention. I was like, oh, that's interesting. He can do that, can he? And then I went and watched him at Sporting, and he does that quite often. So he's a player that I would love to see come in. I'm with you, Rain, as much as I did really want Palhinha to sign up and to stay. I feel like he deserved his flowers as well at the end of the game. I thought he played fantastic. He should have been given Player of the Season, in my opinion. It's madness. I don't even know who got it. Was it Archie Gray that actually got Player of the Season?
It was Archie Gray, yeah.
Mental, absolutely mental.
Because what? Because he was on loan, I guess.
Yeah, because Palhinha was on loan.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think Palhinha was played anyway. I think Thomas Frank had some sort of bee in his bonnet about him.
No, but I mean, is that why Gray got Player of the Year and not?
Oh, maybe there's some just sort of sensitivity, like protect the kids. I don't know, but I didn't think Archie Gray was the Player of the Season. I mean, there wasn't really any particular Player of the Seasons, but I think you could arguably pick 4 or 5 players that I think had more meaningful contributions than Archie Gray. I thought Mathys Tel in the run-in had more meaningful contributions than Archie Gray did throughout the season. I thought Palhinha was a clear favourite. I think you can make the argument that Kevin Danso was sensational throughout the season more often than not. And I don't know. I've got no idea what the basis for Archie Gray getting that award was. Absolutely none.
Lubo voting 20,000 times, probably.
He's finally figured out a VPN, and he's been learning the techno. He's getting over the technophone thing, and he's gone and set himself up with about 400 IP addresses.
He's just got a bot.
He went and downloaded the free version of Claude Code, and what he's done is he's started going, I need a bot to vote in the Player of the Season. Yes, Lubo, we can do that immediately.
You think Lubo knows how to use Claude? That's right. I think another fascinating thing that I'm waiting to see is how he uses Gray, Bentancur, Gallagher, because I don't expect Gallagher to play in the 10. I think the end of season team that we saw, that was not a De Zerbi team. That was he just got the most experienced players he had, put them on the pitch and said, I want you to play football. But I don't expect Gallagher to be our 10, going into next season. I expect a guy who's got a beautiful little touch, does it, I expect a Xavi or a Maddison. That's what I expect. A Fulcrum. So how is he going to use, and I expect him to get a 6, like you're saying, Sean. So how is he going to use Bentancur, Gallagher, Berghvall, Gray? There's now, for me, there's almost 4 players for that one position, that sort of in between the 6 and the 10-8, that running 8. That's it. They can't all get injured at the same. We can't. How's that going to work? Or are they going to shift them on? Are they actually going to loan out Berghvall and Gray? I can't see that happening.
What would you do with those 2 guys? Like for me, I don't know. I'm not sure we need both of them at the football club, like at all. I think you keep one and loan one or sell one, but I think you could make an argument that you loan one and sell one, because I feel like if you you could get decent money for. I don't think you need both Gray and Berghvall. I haven't seen the development. I think we've been down this road many times before with buying these young players that are supposed to be exceptional. I know that they're relative. I know Berghvall's only had 1 season and Archie Gray's really only had 1 season properly. So it's a little bit too early. But we were talking like Pape Sarr was supposed to be a game changer. Brian Hill was supposed to be a game changer.
But they'll be club trained, right? They'll be technically club trained for 27, 28.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah. Doesn't Pape Sarr fall into that bucket as well? Isn't that one of those the arguments to not sell him as well? Then
I don't know.
No. There was a problem with the way that we dealt with his loan back to France, because we bought him and then loaned him, and I think the 6 months that we loaned him back messed up the 3 years.
Imagine my shock and surprise.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking at Berg. Okay, I'm just putting it out there, right? I'm looking at Berghvall. There's rumours that I've seen some rumours that some clubs, are willing to, part 40 odd million. I'd take it.
What would you take? What would it require you to go? All right, bye bye. And who would you go? Who would be your priority shift? Would it be Berghvall or would it be Gray? Berghvall for you, Rain. Yeah.
Whoever they're offering money for.
If someone came in and said, "I'll pay you £40 million for one of them," who would you go? Okay, which one would you pick to go? Berghvall to go. Really? Okay, interesting. What about you, Hugo?
What did we pay for him originally?
8. I think if I remember rightly.
We paid 40 for Archie Gray and about 10 for Berghvall, 8 or 10 or something like that. Yeah.
And to get rid of who? Berghvall?
No, I'm saying if someone came in and said, "Here's 40 million quid, give us one of them."
Yeah. Then I think you'd cash in while you could, wouldn't you?
On who though?
Yeah, which one?
I don't know, because
dead air, mate. You fucking have an opinion, bro.
I'm literally, but I'm trying to think, because I really thought that Berghvall was like initially when he first started, you could see that he was improving, and then under Frank, he just fell off a cliff.
He's stalled this year. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
100%.
So I just wonder if back under an offensive coach like De Zerbi, could De Zerbi get Berghvall back to being, Berghvall, and could he then be that player that we thought he was going to be? I don't know how much better Gray will be.
I haven't seen a lot from either of them. I'll be honest. I've seen
but I think
flashes of intelligent footballing IQ, but I've also seen for every look at that, the guy understands the game. I've also seen probably 2 or 3 look at that. What are you doing, bro? What are you doing? You know, they're 18, 19, 20 years old, whatever. But
can we not loan out both?
Well, people in the comments keep saying get rid of Sarr. Like for me, 2 of the 3 don't need to be at the football club this summer. Or this
Sarr,
season.
I just think that midfield in that particular position that Sarr plays is already a cluster. Like he is surplus to requirements, and he's a little bit older than Berghvall and Gray, isn't he? So
and he hasn't developed into a particular position.
No, and
that's
I don't.
The problem.
He's
That's
already
the problem with Sarr.
He's already reached his ceiling. I think he's another wink, skip, whatever you want to call it. Probably less technical than either, to be honest with you.
By the time you get to 23, 24, you need to be able to say that you're a specialist in a particular position.
Right.
And I don't know what Sarr is. Sarr's
He's a
best
runner.
game.
He's a runner.
Sarr's best game for us was against Man City, where he played as a pressing 10. Unfortunately, you can only do that role against a team like Man City, who are going to press you, whatever. But the majority of Premier League teams who you're going to play against, they're going to make you play horseshoe football, which means that Sarr's irrelevant.
Right.
Unfortunately.
So I mean, I think he needs to go. The other 2 between Berghvall and Gray, for whatever it's worth, I don't see much more of a ceiling for Gray. I think Berghvall does have a higher ceiling because he's a more technical player. He has a higher potential, but just because he's more technical.
I don't rate. If I woke up tomorrow morning and I saw Berghvall, here we go, Liverpool, 45 million quid. Sarr, here we go, Leeds, 45 million quid. Sarr, here we go, Mets, 18 million quid. I would probably go, now we can do business.
Yeah, but you told me I had to pick one.
No, I just said if you. Oh yeah, okay, but I didn't know you were gonna. If I said would you pick both, you would. I don't care. Like to me, I honestly don't know if these guys are good enough. I haven't seen anything from any of them to think that they will be. I think right now Tottenham need a monster in that position. I think Bentancur is levels above those guys, and I don't even rate Bentancur that much. I think Conor Gallagher is levels above both of those guys, and I don't even rate Conor Gallagher that much. And I think we're saturated in the 10 role, and if we go and get someone else in that role, if people are looking at Berghvall and thinking you're an eventual 10, how do you squeeze into Tottenham's 10 when everyone's fit or otherwise? You don't. Archie Gray, I've got no idea. He's not strong enough to be a 6. No chance. He might be able to be a ball playing like a playmaker, but you need someone next to him who's going to be the monster, like the cruncher. Yeah. Without Linia, who is that? I don't know. I don't see where it is that these guys fit into our squad.
No, I mean, I think we're also, far too almost seemingly emotionally attached to these young players, right? I think the reality is that, that we've just got to be ruthless. Like, ultimately, if they're not going to be good enough, they need to be moved on. And that's it. That's the start, middle, and end of it. It doesn't matter, how old they are, like what nationality they are. If they ain't going to make it and they're not going to improve us, then they need to be moved on. For too long, we, I think, have spent time hoping that a player is going to become something, hoping that, they're going to be the next so-and-so. Whereas in reality, you've got to hope that a coach has seen them long enough to know, like, this guy isn't going to be playing for me. What's the point?
I look at Berghvall. Alex. I look at Berghvall. I'd see, and for all of the industry that we all talk about, he scores no goals.
Yeah, none of them do. Alex, what's going on, mate? Good to see you. Where are you?
I'm in Brussels on holiday, and you forced me to come on because you're all talking bollocks. Mate, we have this. I'm sorry. No,
mate,
joking.
You're in the epicenter of bollocks.
Yeah, I know. I should shut up. No, seriously. We have this young talent that has never been nourished. And I remember at the beginning of last season, this horror season, our best player was Sarr. And for one reason or another, Frank stopped playing him. I have no idea why. Berghvall, the last times he played as a right winger, which he is not. If we nourish this talent, and I'm convinced that they are really talented players, They are not prem proven, but they played a lot of games by now. And to give them away now, when we, for the first time in a long time, have a real coach who is on the training pitch every single day, and not like Ange, like, get me a report how the players were doing. He is there, he sees them, and I believe that he, because they still have not reached the ceiling, can get the max out of them. To sell them now, I think, is not a good idea. Sorry, this is my opinion. I had to say.
How are you? So where does let's just pick one of them. Where do you see Lucas Berghvall getting nurtured and nourished? Where does he slot into this team this season?
Well, that's a good question. The thing is, as far as I have understood it, we have not seen the real Desiree ball so far, because he was focusing on just keeping us in the Premier League and making it as simple as possible for the players. I don't know. I mean, I trust him. I trust him more than I trusted any coach since Poch, I believe. And I think it would be a shame to give away these players that probably then in a couple of years will be superstars at big clubs. And it's like, yeah, we let them go too early. I mean, I have to admit that's a fear of mine. But I agree. You, of course, are right, Hugo. Not all of them make it. Some of them have a ceiling and they never reach the ceiling, like a Winks. He was supposed to, or a Skip. One of them was supposed to be our captain. He never reached that ceiling, that potential, or how do you say it in English? You realize your potential.
That's right.
I get it. But I think that the Zerbi, you know, you lure me into saying the Zerbi, although it's the Zerbi. It makes me sick. The Zerbi is really. I believe in it, really.
Alex, thanks a dos. I tell you how to say my name. Don't presume nothing. My name is Roberto Di Zerbi. Okay?
Ma no, vaffanculo, stronzo. Non è possibile, no. The Zerbi, okay? Yeah.
Cazzo!
And talking about all these transfers coming in, out. The only thing that I know for sure is that people don't change, and as long as Johan Lange is our sporting director, from one second to the other, there will be a club announcement from a player we never heard of, and we have to Google. And all that what we are talking. I know content has the content, and you have to make your money. I respect that, Sean, and I'm here, and I give my opinion, but I guarantee you, people don't change. So it will be someone we never heard of, and it will be. All first thing we do is Google him. So.
But Alex, I think you've hit on the problem that I've had with us sort of stacking kids. You've hit right on it, which is what we actually do is we stall their development by stacking them. So we've gone and got Berghvall, we've gone and got Gray, we've gone and got this Sousa, from who was playing football in Brazil, and we bring them here, and then we completely stall their development. And I don't think, constant loans to different clubs, them having to build different relationships, them having to deal with different managers, different teammates, is incredibly helpful to young people. I think they need some form of stability so that they can develop.
I don't know. Look at Luka Vuskovic. He is 18, 19 by now, and he played in Croatia, Poland, Belgium, Germany, and he's a Tottenham player. He played every year in a different league, and he is the defender of the year in Germany, which is a top 5 league. For him, it was okay. I mean,
one swallow doesn't make a summer.
Yeah, but he's our swallow. Come on.
Yeah, no. But you get my point. We can say this one player did it.
Yes, of course. I get it. Yeah, yes.
And actually, it's for the players' benefits as much as it, is for ours. Is that I just don't think the discussion was started when I said there's an 8 position, and we've got 4 players, and that's before we bring Kulusevski back into the team, because I think that's where he wants. That ultimately, I think that's where he's probably going to play. He's probably not going to play in a 10 for De Zerbi. So then you've got 5, competing for that. Who's going to lose out? It's going to be Gray and Berghvall who are going to lose out in that equation. So you may as well get some value for them now, and you know what? It'll benefit them as well.
What are you saying there, Hayden? How you doing, buddy? Good to see you.
Well, good, thanks, mate. How are you?
Right, mate. Yeah, I don't know what happened. My camera just crashed on the old AI. I was about to bring in Alex Jones from InfoWars. It's a damn conspiracy what's going on. They're turning the frogs gay. I was going to do that one, but the camera crashed, so now I'm listening to Alex and Rain make some decent points for once. A little bit of logic, a little bit of a priori, shall we say? Hayden, what you say? What are you here to say, my man? What are you here to say, buddy?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this whole number 8 and the mid number 10 situation is going around in circles, to be honest. I feel like it's fairly simple. We just need a ball carrier in the 8. I mean, Bentancur's a ball carrier, but
Go away,
he's very like unreliable. Even under De Zerbi, we had I'd say 4 or 5 good games, but there were a couple where he went completely missing. So I feel like we need a ball carrying 8 that's going to be able to sort of pick up the ball from the 6 and get it to the 10, but also be quite box to box. And I feel like we need a 6 that can make a tackle and can pass from deep. So I don't think it's too. I feel like it's fairly obvious what we need. But yeah, this whole Gray, Berghvall, Sarr situation, I think Sarr has to go, even just for his own sake. He's 23.
How much do you can get for him, though?
Sarr?
Yeah.
20 mil? 20 mil.
Who's going to pay 20 million for him?
We paid 12 for him, but I think we got him super cheap just because he was really young. I feel like you'd be able to get 20 million euros potentially from I don't know, a Serie A club, maybe something like that. I don't know, to be honest. I don't really know what you see.
Do you actually think I can get 20 million euros for Pape Sarr? I don't know. And I'll try. I'll pick up the phone and be as good a salesman as I possibly can. Hey, it's me, Johan. What am I still doing here? I don't know.
You
none of us do, mate. None of us know why you're still here.
You half Italian.
Sorry, what are you saying, mate?
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like this whole Gray, Berghvall, Sarr thing. I feel like for me, I don't. It sounds bad, but I don't really care about their development. I want players that are ready and that are gonna come in and actually improve the first team. If we go and sign, this is absolute dreamland. If we go and sign a Wharton to play in the 6 and then Alex Scott to play in the 8, I don't care about the others. Figure that out afterwards. Either sell Sarr and another. Oh my god! Either sell Sarr and another, and then loan the other one. But I'm not overly bothered. I don't think they've really shown enough to be we have to prioritize their future versus wanting to us improve our first team. I don't think that's the way to go about it. I'm gonna stop talking because I'm so intrigued as to what you're gonna do right now.
You want to sell me? You want to sell Lucas?
Is that Berghvall?
Hey, it's me, Lucas Berghvall. I normally speak in Sweden, but I've been learning all the Italiano from the Roberto Di Zerbi. Where did Alex go?
I don't know. Apparently,
that is not Berghvall.
That's not Berghvall at all.
Yeah, it's me.
No, it's
me. No. Just got a fat face, that's all. If I do this and then make it a bit skinny, I'm absolutely Lucas Berghvall.
Fat the face. Fat the face.
What are we doing here? So you're saying you don't care about any of these guys, then, Hayden? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying I don't know why people are talking about, oh, but what about Berghvall? What about Gray? What about Sarr? I don't really agree with that. I think
I know. It didn't work.
I don't think anyone's saying that, Hayden.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's. Please don't do it. Please don't do it. Please, I beg you, please don't do it. I know you've got a blonde wig, but please don't do it. Everybody get ready with the clips. Hayden. So given what you've just said about, look, the whole point about it was Sarr goes, and then we've got 4 or 5 who are fitting into that 8 without us buying anybody else. And my point was, surely we are letting, at least one of Berghvall and Gray, if not both, to be honest, surely we're letting them go. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I wasn't really saying it just in terms of like you specifically. I feel like the fan base have been really like, oh, but what about Berghvall and Gray? I mean, like, I think as a collective, we just need to be like, let's improve the first 11 first. Worry about that afterwards. Sell one, own one, all good.
Where do you stand on Savinho? It's a trap, by the way. It's a trap.
It's hard, isn't it? Because Girona, he was good when he played on the left, and he was constantly playing on the left-hand side. So I would like to hope that if he's getting consistent minutes every single week on the left, maybe he can retain some of that form back. But in the Premier League, he hasn't been very good, albeit he's had, 10, 20-minute cameos. So you could argue that he's not been able to get into his flow. But yeah, he's obviously unbelievable at beating a man. Like there's probably not very many other wingers in the Premier League that are good at beating his man. But it's just, it's obviously just that final ball. And I feel like last summer when we were linked with him, a lot of the discourse on Twitter from City fans was very much, no, why would we do that? That's a mistake, etc. But I feel like after the season Doku's had, and Savinho has been given another season to try and prove himself, when all these links were coming out earlier on in the week about Savinho was pretty much done, all the Twitter sentiment that I was seeing from City fans was good. Now let's go and buy someone else better. Thank God for that. We can improve on that position now, etc., etc. So I'm not convinced, but if De Zerbi wants him, then fine. But my concern is, I think you guys have alluded to it. We were linked with him last year, and we've had 3 managers since then. So is this a De Zerbi player? That's my concern. I feel like there is potential there. He's 22. He can obviously be coached. But I feel like by the age of 22, you'd like to think you'd start seeing some end product consistently.
I'd much rather do a loan with an option. Yeah. And actually, like, add an extra like 6 or 7 million quid on the option. You know what I mean? Bring him in for a year. If we're going to deal at 42, I'd rather say no. We'll do a loan, and we'll even pay you 2-3 million quid for the loan, 5 million for the loan, whatever you want. Yeah. And then if we want to take the option, we'll pay you an extra. We'll pay 50. Yeah. Or whatever, right? But like, I just want to try with it before I buy with this guy, because you're right, Hayden. I think that this guy is. I see my man. What's his name? James Flower in the chat. This is mad. He is the exact epitome of what I'm talking about. He was complaining all last year about young players that are unproven, that can't do it in the Premier League with zero output, and now he's like, Savinho's a baller. What are we doing here? He is exactly the I love you, James, but like, you are exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to fans that were moaning all year about certain things, which you weren't wrong to moan about, but you're suddenly okay with those exact same criteria, and you're happy to whitewash all of that shit because the name is Savinho. If his name was Mathys Tel, you'd be okay with it, right? Like, I don't know what we're doing here.
If his name was Dave Smith, no one would want him, but because he's got Enio on the end. Yeah, there's people like, he might be all right. He's Brazilian. And he hasn't even made.
And let's face it,
has he made the Brazilian squad? I don't think he has he?
No.
And let's face it, he's coming from City, right? Do you get better players to pass to with better players who get into positions than at City. He's going to have to work his socks off at Tottenham. Has he got it? Has he got it in him? That's the other thing about younger players, right? Is you're never absolutely sure if they've got the minerals to overcome poor life situations, because we all get hit with them, especially in our early 20s, right? And maybe footballers don't get hit with them quite as much as us ordinary plebs, but it hits us all. And when you're 18, you're cushioned, 20, 21, and then at some point you get some kind of independence. And do you have the personal character to get over that? That's why I was so excited about Xavi, because you see he's had, yes, obviously, he was at Barcelona, but he's had rejection and he's got over it, in his career and in his life. Same with Van der Ven. Van der Ven's life story is so good. Savio seemed, I don't know. For me, I'm just a little bit worried that he's been a bit coddled, and that's the type of person that we're buying. But you never know.
Yeah, I mean, if it does get over the line, I think the only thing that we can hope for is that, yes, his output is bad, but he's been getting 15, 20-minute cameos for most of the time. So is there an argument to say...
Isn't that the argument about Mathys Tel that was made? People decided on Mathys Tel and he was only getting 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there. I remember...
Yeah.
I remember hearing people go, he's got 2 goals in 30 appearances. I was like, yeah, but on a per 90 basis, he's probably right. About 4 games of football. What are we doing here?
But I did see those stats in terms of the per 90 GA for last season, and I feel like Savinho's was like 185 or something. Was it the season before last? I can't remember what it was. And Tel's is like 280 or something, or whatever it was. So there is a bit of a gap, but I don't think. Yeah, I just think the only thing that you can hope for is that if he's getting regular minutes starting every game and he's able to work on his sort of, his consistency and the fact that he's, sort of getting into his flow. Maybe wingers need a bit of that. Maybe they need that sort of consistent time on the pitch versus sort of like those cameos where they're not sort of bit part players. I'm clutching at straws, but I think that's the only thing that we can hope for is that when he becomes a starter,
Jared Bowen, Hayden? Like, isn't he someone that comes in and moves in? Everyone knows Jared Bowen's going to do well, right? You know what you're getting with someone like him, and he's going to cost 50 million quid. I know he's not a left winger; he's a right winger. I mean, look what we've got. Bozo from Norwich in the house. Well, yeah, Donut. What's happening, James? You all right, mate? Hello, buddy. Hello.
What would you message me for? Say, please come on. We want to talk some sense for once. What was that?
No such thing happened, you Donut. What's crack-a-lacking? How you doing? You been in the gym, mate? You're working out a little bit. You got the big old biceps there going on. You're bouncing out of that shirt, pal.
No, mate. No, I've just come back from America, so it's probably all fat.
Oh, is it? Where'd you go?
Orlando with the boys and the wife.
Oh yeah.
Oh, bit of Disney.
You know what? If you gave me 1,000 guesses, I would have only needed one. Exactly where someone like you would be going. Disney, was it? By Orlando?
No,
Disney?
to be fair, we did order Disney a couple of years ago. So we just kind of went there and sort of travelled to the Tottenahm and round, really.
Isn't it nice?
Lovely, to be honest. Just the weather was nice. It was like 35 every day, so can't complain. Yeah.
Tell you what, mate, once you've been to Disney, like, your life will be forever changed. There are things that you see at Disney that you will, like, be etched into your brain forever.
Like when you see the guy who's dressed up as Mickey Mouse and he's actually a 55-year-old Mexican man who's 4 foot tall, he's having a cigarette around the side.
I mean, not only
let that guy cuddle my daughter.
Yeah, not only that, but like, not only that, but like the like Middle America, mate.
Middle America. Okay.
Yeah,
let's not go there.
No, I'm just telling you, like, there's some treats that you can never unsee once you've been.
James, you want to come in and make the argument for Savinho, do you? Is that what you're here to do?
Have any of you seen this guy play?
Yeah.
You guys were probably the guys that would have slated Jack Grealish because of his GA, and look at he turned up at Everton and stole the show. Until he got injured, he was absolutely on fire. It's not all about GA, but if you can't perform on the pitch, then you have to have GA. And that was my problem with Tel. For me, Tel and Odegaard made the wrong decision every time they got near the box. They'd play it safe rather than beat their man. When they did beat their man, they actually looked okay, but they beat their man once a game rather than the 6 or 7 opportunities they do have. So for me, that's why I don't like Tel. Odegaard a bit more. I prefer Odegaard because I feel like he is a bit braver, but his end product is shocking for me. I think my general opinion is if you have Kudos one side and Savinho the other side, that's just dangerous, man. It doesn't matter who you have in the middle. They are going to be pulling defences left, right and centre and drawing men out left, right and centre. I don't see what we are complaining about when you're talking of Savio one side, Kudos the other, Xavi, Maddison. All we need for me is a midfielder. By the way, not midfielder, a striker. By the way, midway through the season, me and Sean had a conversation. I said, get Ramos. He laughed at me in the face and said, we could never get someone like Ramos. He's a top player. Now, the last 3 videos I've seen, Sean's going, Ramos, 40 million.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just listened to me 6 months ago. You'd be saying the same thing about Tel as well in 6 months' time. We're all right.
Do me a favour, mate. Do me a favour. No, if you actually listen to the context in it, I would say we couldn't get him 6 months ago, and we couldn't. But the detail has changed. He now wants to leave PSG. PSG are going to bring in probably Krupi Jr., right? So there's space in the squad. He's going to leave. He's not on massive money. You can get him for 40 million quid. For me, Ramos is an absolute no-brainer.
I personally think
I never disagree with you about the player's quality. I just didn't think.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. No, I said I would have put a bid in January because the guy played like 200 minutes from January to the end of the season. It's something stupid. That's why I would have chanced my arm. When people were saying to me, "I'll name a striker," and I'd give a name, they go, "Yeah, but he's at this club." It was the same as Colomboani. He was there. And again, kind of getting back to the point, if you have Xavi, Maddison, Kudos, and Savinho, I think that's a horror. I don't see how any defence lines up with that and goes, right, this is an easy day. I really don't.
Where did Tottenham finish? Let me get my. Oh, should I get it again? Where does Tottenham finish?
My question to all of you is: come Monday, how many of these names are going to disappear into the ether?
Yeah, season 2.
Yeah, that's a completely different conversation, though. That's changing the subject.
Well, no, it's called realism.
The point he's making is that we're linked with all these players now because the season ticket renewals up for grabs, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But
it's a fair point.
We're not going to debate this. Then there's might as well end the show, right?
No, like we can still live in fantasy world that like Enoch 2.0 are actually going to invest in the actual football club itself and the product on the pitch as opposed to taking money just out of people's pockets and putting it in their own.
No, I get that, but we could also live like. What's the point of being miserable? What's the point of thinking on the negative side all the time? It was the same as the end of the season. Everyone was saying we're going down. Everyone from about 10 games to go, I said we were staying up the whole time, and we ended up staying up. And it's like, well, why spread the negative if it doesn't need to spread the negativity? The transfer window hasn't even opened yet. We've still got 2 weeks.
So where does that, in your opinion, then something like that? James, right? Is that what you're saying? Ramos, Savinho off the left, Kudus off the right, Xavi Simons or Maddison, whoever in the 10, a 6 that can play the ball but can defend like a Morten Hulmand. You can change him for Gallagher if you want. I don't mind, whatever. Something like that, right? And then a back line of Udogie, Van der Ven, Van Hecker and Porro in one iteration, the other iteration being Senesi, whatever.
Robertson.
Yeah,
right, that's dream world, though, isn't it?
Where does that team? No, but it's not that far away, is it?
No, it's not. It's not.
Simon's probably ain't going to be playing for half.
Okay, we'll change him to Maddison then. All right, not a huge difference. If you go and get Ramos, Hulmand, and they're the stories that we need to see develop because Savinho's pretty much done. Van Hecker, you hope is done soon, and then if you change him, I don't care, whatever, it doesn't matter, right? But like not him. Change.
It's top 8 for me.
Change him and change him just as a random thing. Where does that team finish next season? I think that's a
and they're fit, yeah. Is that fit? Are they stay fit for like?
They're fit,
But that for me is on par with the Liverpool squad right now before they sign anyone.
Sporting Lisbon players, no, thank you.
That for me is. I don't see a weak. I mean, a Robertson for me, I'm a bit 50-50, and a Udogie, I'm 50-50. But other than that, I think that's a top squad. That's a really, really good squad. Really good squad. I would go into, if that was our team going into the season, I'm extremely excited. Extremely excited.
Guy, forget about if not him, then someone like him, whatever. But like, just we obviously need a midfielder. We haven't identified who that midfielder is, but someone like him. I mean, I want to. Does it change for you guys if you see this guy?
No. Yeah, he's class. He's so good.
I feel like that number 6 has got to be Premier League proven, certified 100% quality. I don't want to take any risks from other leagues.
Belieber is a massive punt for the sort of money they want for him. It's a massive punt.
He also can't take money out of it and look at the player. Like, take the money out of it and look at the player rather than.
I mean, Sean has looked at the player
can't pass.
with a whole bunch of analytics behind it, and he's basically no better than anything that we've got now.
No, yeah, I agree. I think he's better than what we've got.
Belieber this season when he was absolutely toilet. Key passes, he was in the 3rd percentile. Look at this, absolutely shocking, right? 12th percentile across all midfielders in the top 5 leagues. 12th, 9th, 4th for key passes, 8th. And you go, well, that's this season. He had a shitty season. Let's compare him to himself.
Last season,
breakout season.
Yeah,
and that's this season's Carlos Belieber. Oh fuck, what have I done there? That's Carlos Belieber's this season. And you go, actually, he's had a bad season. Okay, well, let's have a look at him last season. Was he really that much better?
I think the main thing here is that De Zerbi doesn't play with a traditional destroyer number 6 like a Paulinho.
Agreed.
He plays with a tempo setter, deep lying passer that can
like a Xabi Alonso, right?
Yeah, can't make a tackle, but he's not like a traditional.
Like a Dembele, basically.
Yeah, he plays with that. So I don't think Belieber would work. The perfect player is Adam Wharton, but are we going to get him? Probably not.
Agreed.
I think Adam Wharton is probably.
See, this is where if we had a DOF that didn't reverse engineer the data, you'd look at Adam Wharton's data, you'd throw it into the mix, and you'd go find me a player that has the same, data
about him?
as Adam Wharton.
Again,
Nicolo Fagioli, 25 years old, baller. Absolute baller.
League, isn't it? It's the Italian league.
Apart from what? He's not very good at winning possession.
What about Locatelli?
He's just signed a new contract. He's not going anywhere.
Ah, fuck's sake.
If you want Premier League stuff, I mean, I don't know why we're not competing with Manchester United, by the way, on this guy.
That's a done deal. We're not in the same
I cannot believe we are not trying to if Edison is available for 35 million quid, why don't Tottenham go in and say 45 million quid?
Because Lang is our DOF, for fuck's sake.
And I also obviously
because United have Champions League.
At the moment, it goes without saying that Man United are a better proposition. Why would he?
In the last 12 months,
we could offer Atlanta 65 million. He's still going to go to Man United. It's up to the player.
Yeah. Is it fair to say as well, though, we needed a 6? In my opinion, we needed a 6 because Romero's a hothead and Van der Ven, in my opinion, ain't the greatest defender. We've now, if those two come in, you've now upgraded the defensive structure of the team. So you could probably get away with a passing midfielder and then the legs in Gallagher, plus a bit of magic up front or in the camp.
I don't know, James. I think the better teams have that player who can do that screening. They have a Rodri, they have a Caicedo. They have those types of players. Arsenal.
Angelo Stiller's the guy, right? He must be the guy that makes the most sense.
Yeah, but even then, if you look at
James Garner, are good.
The winning the possession thing's not his. That's not his strong point, right?
Yeah, but exactly when you're going to a De Zerbi team, though, De Zerbi's team naturally keep the ball rather than have to shut down and capture the ball. Right? They are free-flowing, possession-based team.
Could we not just chuck 100 million at City for Savio and Nico Gonzalez?
Nico Gonzalez is like. Let's have a look. Let's get rid of.
His forward
De
pass.
Zerbi's last season at Brighton was 23-24, wasn't it? It's a couple of years
Do me
ago.
a favor, Sean. Like the archetypal six, right? Is Rodri. Shove Rodri up there and let's have a look at what his.
Does he even has he played enough games this season? Oh, he has.
I mean, I'm looking and Belieber played pretty much every game for De Zerbi.
So the closest match
in
to
that
that
last season
is who?
Stiller.
Probably Stiller, right?
Yeah.
It's Bundesliga, though, isn't it? So,
all the guy from PSV Eindhoven.
yeah, but it's the I don't know. I'm just scared about getting players from the Dutch league, the German league. It's stung us in the past so much. I'd rather just go and get, I think, an Italian player or a certified Premier League player would be. What's James Garner saying? Is he?
Yeah, Garner's class.
Because if Matey Boy's going to Everton,
Garner is the light blue. So Garner, look at that. Fucking hell. Garner's insane.
Good. Yeah, he's good. And he's English. See?
That's who we should be going.
He's the guy. He's the guy you want.
Yeah, I think
that's the guy you want.
Yeah.
He's English. He's the right age. That is who you want right there.
Put in Archie Gray.
James Garner's 25 as well.
Yeah.
Perfect age.
Good age. There it is. There he is. Look, it's like a cell, and that's the nucleus.
Pentacle. This is what we're working with here. This is what we're working with.
Yeah, go and get Garner. Look how much he would improve that position. It's insane.
How much would James Garner cost?
Well,
probably less than Wharton, right?
And you don't really need him to carry. You don't, because you've got enough talent around. You don't really need him to carry the ball that much.
No, he just needs to pass it to
You've got
someone.
more than enough runners in the midfield options already, right? You've already got enough, and then you've got the guys at the back that want to drag the ball out anyway. That's insane.
Well,
that's baller. What are we doing? Like, why are we even? What conversation are we having?
What about like Camavinga?
He's not coming Spurs, but yeah, he's
on about being sold, isn't he? Because of all the problems.
Yeah.
Just think about it.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Look at that.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, that's unreal. That's unreal. Yeah.
All right, that's the
I know ball, as they say.
Yeah, 23 years old. All right. Yep, he's quite useful as well.
I think he had too many injuries, though. That's the only problem. He's had a lot of injuries. That would be my concern.
He'll fit in well then.
Everton are buying. Well, supposedly they're buying Hackney and the other guy, the one you had up earlier, begins with a H.
Hudland.
Yeah, him. Apparently they're getting both, and they both play in the 6. So maybe Garner is available. Maybe they're buying them because Garner wants to go. I don't know.
Possibly. Rodrigo goes and Eduardo Camavinga reportedly headline Jose Mourinho's Real Madrid 6-man transfer exit list. There you go. So Camavinga is gettable, but not necessarily for Tottenham. He is gettable. James Garner, yeah. So let's see if there's any news about him.
23 as well, Camavinga, though. I mean, he's younger than Gardner as what? 25, 26? What did it say? 25.
Garner's not going anywhere. He wants to be captain.
I feel like we need to be a bit realistic. We're not getting Camavinga.
And we're not getting James Garner either.
No. Or Wharton, probably, but Wharton's a dream. What's Wharton like in that?
But if you isn't it like a bit of a snowball effect, right? If you get Savinho and you get Ramos, Camavinga's now, you could then have that conversation. Camavinga, look, we've now got Kudos, Ramos, Savinho, you, Maddison, Xavi. Yeah. That for me is then like, okay, yeah, I could get involved there.
Then you get Johan 100%. On the end of the phone. Hello.
Yeah.
You can't help it, can you, baby? Hugo is the number one negative. No matter what you say, he comes back with something negative. But you'll have.
What I'm trying to say, hang on a second, just listen, James. Because from the get-go, I told you, and like everyone else, when it was like, get rid of Frank, bring in someone that's a proper manager because that helps attract decent players. You remember that? I said that from that.
Yeah, but being negative at 450 times a season, one's going to come in.
Let me finish. The same goes for the DOF. If you've got the right manager and you've got the right DOF that has the right contacts, who knows, has good relationships with agents, you've got a better chance of landing the big fish. If you've got a dweeb that couldn't run a fucking bath, you ain't going to be landing the big fish more times than not, because do you know why? Because the guy that should be a DOF works for a different club and has picked up.
Okay, so was Kudos a big fish?
No, he's not a big fish.
One second, Hugo's one second. First of all, Scott Amos, sorry mate, I kicked you out on a temporary ban. Didn't mean to. I was trying to kick out Tony 26, whatever. I wasn't trying to kick you out. I'm giving you a little suspension because you're spamming, and then it jumped up and I ended up getting Scott instead. So sorry, Scott, you're a victim. But he was spamming to ask for Victor Frohold. He hadn't had a good season, mate. You're asking a lot. Look at him. He's not particularly exceptional on the stats there. Sorry, sorry, James.
Is that in their league, or is that against the top 5?
Top 5 leagues. Top 5
okay.
leagues.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, for me,
Are we banning people
player.
for bad suggestions now? Is that what we're doing? We're banning people for bad suggestions.
No, he was just putting the word in, like putting the name in like 100 times or something. So, but I apologise.
That's rubbish. Burnhammer.
We look at this is Manu Kone. I'd take Manu Kone all day long. By the way,
proper player.
Couple of super chilly chit chats. Bourbon Buzzard says, just read, Tel has been offered to Porto.
Oh, fucking hell, please. Where?
Wait, what?
Ornstein, hopefully.
Oh, don't do that. Sean will be suicidal.
No, I'll fuck it. I'll give you a fuck. If he goes, he goes. Fuck him.
No, you fuck.
He means nothing to me anymore.
Here we go. Mathys Tel has been offered to Portuguese giants Porto ahead of the summer transfer window, according to reports.
Fucking get in.
Yeah. Before we bring anyone else in, it's all good. We'll clear everyone else out, and and then
what are we doing here?
But you know what? Again, that's different to how we've done business before. We've always, we need to just clear the decks.
Yeah, I'd rather sign the player that we want to actually be in the starting position before, so we don't end up in another situation where we're left short.
It's all right. We've got Micky Moore.
Yeah.
But you have to get rid of if they're not good enough, they have to go.
No,
This is my thing. This is my thing about Gray and Berghvall. A lot of people are saying, what if in the future, even Tel and Odegaard, what if they become this? What if they become that? Well last season we finished 17th, and with those players we finished 17th. I actually don't know if it's true or not, but I think I read Archie Gray. Did he start a game and win a game since he played and he become our player of the season? I don't know if he won a game during a start. So it doesn't make sense for me. When you have Odegaard, Tel, Richalison, Solanke, Bissouma, all of the above, Romero's, they have to go. They have to go. So remember when Poch come in and Arteta come in, all of their fan favourites, they went. Aubameyangs, all of them, they're like, that's it, out you go.
Yep.
So for me, you have to get rid of them. I don't care what they're going to be like in 5-10 years. This year, we nearly got relegated. This year, we need a stronger squad, not in 5-10 years' time. So for me, I would sell all of them for somebody that's more, that their ability is higher than what we've got.
Yeah, mate, I agree. All I'm saying
we
is,
ain't selling Mathys Tel, by the way. We ain't selling Mathys.
The only point that I was trying to make is we don't want to be in another situation whereby, like we're left short because we sell whatever, and then a player gets injured, and then we've got no one left to play in that position.
No, I agree with you in that hindsight, but me personally now, if we sold them and got left short and we got left with Micky Moore rather than or Will Lancashire rather than Dominic Solanke, I ain't actually that fussed. I don't feel like there's a huge gap. I really don't. And that may sound stupid, but for me, if you're not good enough, you're not good enough, and they're all on the same level. It doesn't matter how bad you are, who's worse than worse. If you're not good enough, you're not good enough. So
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not fussed
gotta
if they
take
leave
emotion
and we
out
get
of it.
left with the youth. None of them are good enough anyway, so just sell them.
And the way I see it, James, is Micky Moore and Lancashire, if they have to play, they're short-term problems because they're either good enough or not. And if they're not, they won't be here next year. But if when we've got Solanke, Richalison, they're 4 to 5 year problems, and you're struggling to get other players in. So
that's 150, 120, 110, 120 million pound problem, right? Like you said, with Micky Moore, if it don't work out, someone will take him for 10 million, and you're still 10 million up, right? So that's why for me, I think get the players in that we need, and if we can't get rid of them, terminate the contract. Like that's, I really don't care. Obviously, I'd rather sell them and get money in. I know how that works, but for me, we cannot finish 17th again because next year we might not be so lucky. So get the players in that you need.
If Tel's going out, then I'm expecting 2, and that's great because another reason why I'm worried about Savinho is Savinho and Tel on that left-hand side. That worries me. The two of them. More than one or the other. It's what if it doesn't work out? But if they're like, if that's what they're looking at and they're going, we want that youthful exuberance of Savinho to actually do that running, and I make James right. There's something about Tel. He looks like he's got all of the talent, but none of the drive. None of the
gumption. The word you're looking for is gumption.
Yeah, exactly. It's just
who reminds me of?
Just take your player on.
He reminds me of. Yeah, he reminds me of in school when you had the best kid. You'd play in the playground. He was the best kid by miles. You'd get onto a football pitch, and he would get lost as soon as he went forward. That for me is look when he actually delivers the ball. I actually think his final ball's pretty good, barring his shooting. I actually think his crossing and his delivery. Me and Sean said I'd let him take set pieces. I think he's got a really good set piece and delivery into the box, but unfortunately. I think it was even the Everton game. The amount of times he turned and went back, it's like just byline it. Just byline it.
That's a confidence thing. And you know why? You know why he's short on confidence? Because our 3/4 of the bloody fan base don't see what the potential is and don't want to get behind their boy and give him some bloody wind in that gumption sail.
So why are they all criticising him?
Because they're
is he playing really well?
What are you talking about? Yeah, listen, he carried us through the last 6 games, did he not? When the Mawani
How many GA did he get in the last 6 games?
3.
It's hardly carrying, is it?
It got us through.
Yeah.
Is it you just said carried us through the last 6 games.
It got us through. So there, yeah.
I'd argue Polina carried us for the last 6 games, but
Polina was a part of it.
Bentancourt?
Part of it. Tel was a part of it.
Oh, he was one of the 11. I agree. Yeah, Kinsky, part of it.
I would argue that Kinsky's like Kinsky did more for our GA than the rest of them.
Look. I'm not saying that he ain't going to go on and be a world beater. I've never said that either. Same with Odegaard, same with Archie Gray, and same with Berghvall. But for me, what I see now. We're a 17th place squad with the players on the pitch. That's why we finished there.
What happened to Leao, by the way? What's going on with him?
Player.
He ain't coming to Tottenham. He's not a great player. He's hot. He's a frustrating fucking player, that guy.
He's a player. That's my kind.
When he's off, he's like complete.
He's got it in him. He can be a great player. But as I always say, he's like the double slit experiment. If you're into quantum mechanics, quantum physics, you'll know about the double slit experiment. There's certain
players, like the wizard's sleeve?
Yeah, there's certain players that you watch and go, I've heard a lot about you. You ain't all that. And then you disappear and he goes out of your mindset for about 2 weeks. And then you read some report on the Serie A and you go, and you read, Rafael Leao scored a hat-trick against Hellas Verona on the weekend and he absolute game-changing miracle runs. And you go, oh, okay, he's back, is he? Okay, cool. I'll go and watch his next game. And he's shit again. And you're like, he's one of these players where double slit experiment, right? Like they behave differently when you observe them to how you do when you're not observing them. It's very, very, very odd. And I think that he's the sort of player that you'll spend a fortune on and be incredibly frustrated.
The thing
I
is,
think that's what usually we tell when we see something.
Yeah.
Sounds like your kind of player, if I'm honest, Sean.
If you look
Loving
at-
that shirt. Loving that shirt, by the way, Hayden. Loving that
I mean,
shirt.
you know,
Still repping.
But could it be though that I mean I agree with what you've been saying, Sean, in the shows and in the videos where you've been saying again. I agree with what you've been saying in where you said if Savio comes in, midfielder comes in, and Ramos comes in. I don't see how anyone disagree with someone like Savio coming in. I think it'd be the same with Leao. Look, even though I've criticised Odegaard and Tel, I've criticised them because of what they have done. But I don't think that when you've got Dominic, I said the same with Dominic Solanke when you scored that scorpion kick and you rung me up telling me how good he was. But for me, both of them are crap. They're not goal-scoring strikers. So for me, if I was to spend all my money on a Savio or a Rafael Leao, I would go and buy somebody like Vlahovic, someone that just wants to stay in the box and not move, because you've got your wingers pulling the defenders wide. Get someone that just wants to stay in the 6-yard box.
Shut up, mate. You don't want Vlahovic.
I do. No, someone like that. I said
$400 a week. You want to pay on that donut?
Apparently,
but I'm not. I'm just saying the player. I'm not talking about the numbers. I'm just talking about the player. No one's going to give him $400 a week now. His contract's up either.
I read earlier he's only after 180.
Yeah,
which is still a fair amount for someone that's not really done it. But
I'd give him $180 a week
on a free. I feel like
very generous of you, Sean.
Three-year deal, $180 a week. See what happens.
Yeah, on a free, I feel like you could do a lot worse. Like,
see, what I would love to see is the same dynamic.
I still want Ramos.
The same dynamic
Yeah,
you had with Berber and Keno. I would love to see under a De Zerbi. That same sort of dynamic, like a Berbatov Keane dynamic.
What about going to Atletico Madrid and saying any chance we can take Mikel Tadzi off your hand and then sitting him out on the left hand side, letting him play in that nine? He's a little whippy little striker that can do all sorts. He's that Georgie Kinkladze type. He's a little bit of like a B-Tech version of Kvaratskhelia. He's the Georgian press, right? Like these guys are they're classy footballers. Yeah. Tottenham fans would fall in love with Mikel Tadzi incredibly quickly. He's awesome. He's not good enough to play as a front nine by himself in the Premier League.
When's your boy Yildiz so over on the left-hand side?
He signed a new contract, I think.
Yeah.
Did he?
I think if Liverpool
what about Malik Fofana? Because you know what's his name? Sorry, Hayden, just quickly. Fucking old Johnny Boy Texter. You know, I said like 8 months ago that geezer's got himself in all sorts of problems.
It's all being liquidated, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all been liquidated. They're fucked. So like Botafogo's going to be ransacked. Danilo, the ex-Forest player, is going to go on a cheap because the Aris Capital are in. I take Danilo, by the way, but also Malik Fofana. What a player he was! I know he got injured and then he hasn't really come back. But
What's he done? His ACL? He did his ACL.
No, he got injured on his ankle. Got injured, I think it was. I forget what it was specifically. But he's now back fit again, so he might be someone to look into. Sorry, Hayden, I didn't mean to interrupt you, mate. Crack on.
That's all right. I was just going to say if the links earlier are true that Liverpool are after Diamonde, why would you not try and get Gakpo?
Yeah.
They've got Rio. They've got Rio, haven't they? So they've got Rio and Diamonde for the left. Gakpo's not going to play much, and the good thing with Gakpo is he'll start on the left, but he can also cover up front. So for me, that would be a no-brainer. I guess it's just whether he'd want to come to Spurs. And I think actually I read earlier he's failed a drugs test in the Netherlands camp, so maybe he's a bit dodgy. But
I'm not a fan. I mean, he's like what John.
Fucking shizzle McNizzle on a Friday.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure I read earlier he's failed a drugs test.
Him and Bissouma, he'll fit right in.
Yeah,
I can't only get all day long though. What are we doing?
What about Adeyemi?
Oh, here we go. It's that time of year again when James rolls out his Adeyemi link.
Mate, sign him. If you want someone quick on the wing, that is your guy.
Yeah, but to be fair, we had a guy that was quick on the wing, twice under Ange Postecoglou. His name was Timo Werner, but he was shit.
So you're comparing Adeyemi to Timo Werner?
No, I'm just saying, like, if pace is the only metric,
it's exactly what he's doing.
Pace is
and
the metric
I don't think it's
that you want to trade
comparison, to be honest.
Shut up! You fuck off.
I'm just saying, if pace is the metric by which you're judging it.
No, I said pace because Sean with the last guy said he's paced down the wing. So I said, if you're looking for pace, you don't get quicker than Adeyemi.
Hang on, Adeyemi got caught with a gun on him. So your suggestion, James's suggestion, bottom shelf is a criminal with weapons charges. Hayden beneath me on the bottom shelf is suggesting a druggie.
What we doing here?
My guy will fit right in London.
Hugo suggesting fucking Mason Greenwood or Thomas Partey. What are we doing here?
Whoa!
We're not building a squad. We're building a crew.
Yeah, absolutely.
What
It's bringing a new word to fight to the game. You're asking him to stand up and be counted for.
There's a name that just got dropped. How good is Antonio Nusa?
Class.
Yeah, class. Yeah.
But would he come to Spurs?
Well,
Who's saying Nusa is shit? Josh, what are you doing, Josh? Come on now, bro. Nusa's fucking.
One player I don't want, I would rather keep Richalison and Solanke, is Nicholas Jackson.
No.
That guy is a fraud. I don't know how he went by Munich, and he is the worst striker I've ever seen play. He's awful.
I agree.
If we get him, I would rather keep Richarlison.
I can't believe people keep that stuff.
There's a guy on X called Kish who's done some analysis on Nicholas Jackson's game, and you'd be very surprised. That's what I'm going to say.
What do you mean?
Well, he's good.
As in, for what De Zerbi wants, and if you can get him playing, then he reckons he'd be like top 3 striker for him.
Nah, when I was aware of, I was talking about Nicholas Jackson when he was playing in Spain for one. Was it Villarreal or Valencia? I forget who he played. Was it Villarreal? I think he played for. Played for one of the V teams, and I was like, this guy's incredible. I remember I went on to what's that guy's name? Some big channel. I forget the guy's name. The Man United fan, Saeed, is it? I went on to his with a few other fans. Like it was like a couple of seasons ago, and I was like, Nicholas Jackson's it was a baller in Spain, but he's a shoulder type of player. Like he needs to be the ball over the top and get into the pace, and he's got all the pace and the confidence in that league. But going to Chelsea, I was like, Chelsea don't play that way. No. It's not going to work. And I don't really like. He to me is like a better version of a Brennan Johnson. He's just like he's a shoulder type player. He wants to the ball to be locked over the top. But for that to happen, you need to play for a team that naturally wants to counter, like a Forest, like a. Like a Crystal Palace type like that. He would do really well at that sort of team. But because he sort of excelled at Spain, then the next obvious option. Sometimes these players, it's the same with managers, right? Like sometimes players and managers are brilliantly successful at what they do, but they do it in a certain style that doesn't suit going to a top 4 or a top 6 team because the fans of those football clubs and the managers of those football clubs don't naturally want to play that sort of counter-attacking transitional football. Nicholas Jackson would be unbelievably good at Crystal Palace or a team like Forest or that sort of entity. But if you want to go and play possession-based football, Nicholas Jackson for me isn't your guy.
Well, for me, I don't think he's as good off the shoulder as people say, purely because he misses too many chances. So in the Premier League, you play West Ham not anymore, but you play Palace or you play Newcastle, you may only get 2 or 3 attempts at goal. And for me, he falls over too much. The amount of times he's in front of goal and he scuffs it or falls over, it's just not good enough. In the Premier League, to do that, you've got to be a killer. And if he can't play in that role with Harry Kane, the best number 9 in the world just behind him, he's no chance for Tottenham.
Yeah, the funny thing about him is though, I've just had a look. In 44 games, he got 17 goals and 6 assists. So 23 GA and 45 in his first season at Chelsea. So there is.
That all started with a hat trick against Tottenham, didn't it?
Oh shit! Yeah, that was.
Right, yeah, no, I'll pass. Definitely confirmed. I'll pass.
Yeah, I don't think he scored a goal for that Chelsea game, the Chelsea-Tottenham game, and then it was like game week 10 or 11, wasn't it? Game week 11, and then he got a hat trick against us, right?
Do you think Marmoush is movable?
I don't know. I doubt it.
I don't think City would sell him because the problem that City have got is that obviously no one's starting ahead of Haaland, but if Haaland's injured, then it's like, shit, what do we do now? They almost need like a youth player that's happy just to like sit on the bench, but Marmoush would be class. Marmoush should be brilliant. I think Marmoush is like a really, really good finisher. I think his finishing's
Would you take him over Ramos?
yeah.
Same.
Just because I've seen him do it in the Prem. I know he hasn't played many games.
Yeah.
When
Same.
he has played, I feel like he's good. I feel like he's a good
got
player.
an absolute whip of a shot for me. That's who I would if I could pick. He would be right up there. To be honest, the only problem with him, I think I watched something yesterday, and they were talking about him and Ekitike together. All of his best form, he almost played in like the Tel role this season. You know, like out wide, but then come inside. So you would almost need him over Savinho if you're going to play out wide him. And then you still need a striker, so Ramos and him.
Yeah, I'm just looking at him now up front.
Would you quickly? Would you hate him? Would you take Mikel Tadzi and Ramos, like a little bit of yin and yang, a little bit of like a big and a little like you can, and then you can sell Solanke and you can sell Richarlison, and then you can have Will Lancashire in the back. I think that Tottenham need 2 strikers, but I don't think it's such a difficult market. Strikers market is hard. You overpay. I don't think you can sell before you can buy. I think you have to buy one, sell one, buy one, sell one.
Mm-hmm.
I'd happily get rid of both of what we've got. Richarlison's first off the list for me.
Yeah, same. To be honest, I don't know much about Tadzi. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I know much about him because I don't. But Ramos, yeah, I think I probably would. For me, though, it's just again like he's not been getting consistent minutes. He's been playing in the French league, so I'm just not sure. But yeah, I feel like just going back to Marmoush. So I just had a quick look, and even in his limited minutes and what he hasn't been doing over his career, he's got 93 GA and 177 up front. So that's class. And then even then, when he's had to play off the left wing, he's got 17 GA in 36.
How much would you pay City for him?
Well, on transfer market, he's valued at 50. I reckon. Honestly, I reckon.
What do they pay? They paid about.
I would pay 80. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I think if you get a. Go on, sorry.
So
you pay 80 million for him versus 35-40 for Ramos.
Yeah.
Hayden?
Yeah.
Right?
No. I wouldn't pay 80. Like 65, 70, I think.
I would pay 80. The reason being, I've seen him do it in the Prem week in, week out. I don't care about the numbers that people are talking about anymore. We've done that for long enough. But if we saved 50 million and buy Gallagher over whoever, if we save this and buy him, we need a forward and a striker. For me, the best number on that, the best player on that list is him. So you go out and buy the best one you can.
I'd pay 80 for him and not get Savinho, and then 100%. Go and get Ramos.
100%.
Yeah, I'd rather. Yeah.
Again, you'd pay 80 for him. You'd sacrifice Savinho, and then you'd also get Ramos.
Yeah.
So you're saying Marmoush, and so then you'd sell Solanke. So then what are you doing on the left?
I'd play Marmoush. Marmoush left. Ramos forward. Oh yeah, that's unbelievable.
Marmoush, Ramos, Kudus.
100%.
Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that all day. Yeah.
Oof. Woof. Woof. I'd fucking do that too, boys. I'd do that too.
We're winning a lot.
I don't think we're paying 80 for anyone. I feel like 70 is probably our cap.
But what
I feel like Marmoush for 70 is like worth the money, because I feel like he's just like waiting to explode.
What about if we was to pay 110 plus Porro for Savinho and Marmoush?
All right, okay. Well, let's chew that through. I'm fine with that on paper.
110 and Porro.
But I think the right back market is fucking. There's not a lot of good right backs out there. You got Denzel fucking Dumfries. Free transfer Denzel Dumfries from 24 months ago that is now going to Real Madrid.
Yeah, I know.
Like, where do you go to get a better right back?
Yeah, fair. Yeah, fair.
I do
more of a market for right back.
I do 110 and Porro for Gonzalez, Savinho, and Marmoush. I'm not doing 160 mil on flipping Savinio and Marmoush. That's insane.
Yeah, but what about you're fixing two problems, and you've got Jed Spencer coming at right back as well. So you're not.
You need another right back, then, don't you? Behind.
Yeah, Coyote.
Yeah, of course. But you've solved two problems. Spencer's gone into the team. Then you can either promote a youth or bring in another. But for me, I love Porro, so I'd rather not let him go.
I think Flower has solved the Archie Gray problem. That's what I mean.
Archie Gray comes back into right back, does he? Is that what we're doing?
I'll give him 150 million, Porro and Gray for the same two players.
Hang on, so wait, we're getting into the world of fucking hypothetical dream world here. So you're talking, hang on, Hayden said he wants.
I would give him
Nico Gonzalez, Marmoush, and Savinio, and for
For
that
110 plus Porro.
Yeah.
For 110 plus Porro, so
That's
it's 160 mil.
Yeah.
No chance. You could say swap Porro for Savinio.
All day long. I think all three of those players massively move the needle.
Oh, absolutely. I don't think you're getting them for that
right.
cheap.
I think it's about right. You'd get. I think Savinio is about 40, and then the other two you could probably get Nico for 50 and Marmoush for 60, 70. It's about 160, isn't it?
No chance. They're not letting all three of them go for that money.
No, they won't. But we're talking hypothetical, aren't we? So,
Hayden, can I just ask you, right, again, a hypothetical? If okay, so we're getting all these free transfers, right? We're getting all these free transfers in. What if they did go and spend 80, 90 million on one player? How would you feel about them if they did actually do that?
There's only
as someone who's not been shy about Enoch, how would you feel about them if they went bosh 80 million Marmoush?
I wouldn't. Well, obviously, I'd be incredibly pleased that we're happy to spend that amount on one player. The thing for me is I wouldn't want to spend 80 million on Marmoush. If they went out and laid 80 million on the table for Adam Wharton, bloody happy days. I'll take that.
Yeah, but that's player selection though. If they did that with Marmoush, whether you agree with that or not, it's still big statements. I agree with what Rain said earlier. You have seen an upscale in players that they've tried to sign, whether they've got them over the line or not. Kudos, Javis, Morgan Gibbs-White, like they have upped that bracket. Before that we was getting Tails, Odeberst.
I think our biggest we need to, if we're going to drop that kind of cash, it's got to be on a striker.
James, even
that's
Van der Ven
the difference maker.
was a punt. Do you know what I mean? It was a punt that worked, but it was a punt. Whereas some of the players have been going in for are not. Morgan Gibbs-White isn't a punt. You know Morgan Gibbs-White is going to Eze is going to come in and play well in your team. Anyway,
is there a striker on the market that you think is worth 80 million? I know you've said Marmoush, but I don't think he's worth 80.
I'd pay 80 for Thiago.
Who? Sorry?
Nick Voltamado from Newcastle?
Nah, not 80.
Nah.
I think there's a reason they're dropping him back into the 10. I think he's just not.
I think that's the problem, though. I think that's
the problem. Their points per game since he's dropped into the 10 is like my Newcastle mate sent me. They're like points per game when he's been in the 10 is like 1.1, and when
they're almost playing him as an 8, mate. It's insane. There's a player. Actually, I think there's a super chat that's coming about this a minute ago from. How's the job? Wesley Van Helden. He's having a braai over in South Africa. Yeah, Wesley, what's happening, bro? He threw out Maximilian Beer, which is, I think, what I was told when I went to the bar at Oktoberfest. They said, sorry, Sean, you had Maximilian Beer. You can't have any more, bro. You can't have any more. This guy is, I think he's at Dortmund, isn't he? Didn't he do really well? Maximilian Beer. I think he got let me have a look. I think he got, here we go, 9 goals and 9 assists in 32 games. A really interesting player. 40 million quid valuation on him. You guys familiar with Maximilian Beer?
No.
Can't say I am, no.
He's a talent. He's 23 years old. I don't know. Not sure about. I don't know enough about him, but I've seen the highlights. one of those double slit experiments, because when I've watched him, I've always thought he's all right, but then I'll see it, bangs in the goals. Big up to you, Wesley. Thank you for the super chat. Pete Sparky, big up to you, Pete. Grumpy Pete, how are you, my man? You okay? He says that was Lucas Berghvall. He must be miles behind in the chat, mate, if we're talking about Lucas Berghvall from before. Big up to you, Pete. How are you, my man? The link is there if you want to come on and lower the tone. Big up to you. And LDN, big up to Ant. He says, listen to the players you're linking us to. 2 relegation near misses. Langer is still DOF and World Cup in a week. Total joke. Get a grip. Nothing personal.
Keeping it Tottenham, mate. Keeping it Tottenham. Keeping it Tottenham.
You're a bit of a miserable bastard today. You all right, Ant? You've had a bad day at work, have you, mate? Is something okay? You want to talk? You want to come on, buddy? Everything okay? Everything okay, mate? What are we doing here?
This is what we do here.
What are we doing? And,
I mean, if you look at like
Brentford, sorry, go on, Chico.
Brentford went and they found Thiago. Admittedly, like the first season he got injured, so we didn't have a clue what he was going to be able to do. Bournemouth, the likes of Ryan, they brought him in. Using their data model. Like if you're going to use data, do it properly, which unfortunately is the main fundamental issue we've had with our current DOF, is, as you've identified, Sean, is like they'll identify the players and then say, now make them fit the data.
Yeah.
Right? Which is what we should be doing is,
Well, that's the I don't know if that's entirely true. It's something that Johnny and I always talk about. Well, I think we started off saying it a little bit in jest, but now it's become like an assumption that it's right. I'm not sure that Johan Lang literally goes and says, I've identified these 3 players, run the data to justify my argument.
Well, we don't have much reason
doing that, then that's ridiculous. But I think what we're sort of saying it more in like tongue in cheek, and as much as
we don't have much reason to disprove it, do we?
I still think he's playing Football Manager for 2 hours a day.
Listen, I just want to. I'm not. None of us here are like Johan Lang fans, right? But if before the World Cup starts, then Tottenham do end up with 4 signings in Savinio for 45, Van Hecker for 50, and then Robertson and Senesi for free. Like, should everyone just back off for a couple of weeks?
100%.
Crediting Binai. That's what.
Well, hang on a second, because we don't know we don't know his contract, the rolling contract that Lang has, right, is until the end of June. Is it not?
Why are you so negative? This is what I'm saying. Sean asked a question. If he brings 4 in before the start of the World Cup, is that not a positive? Your first thing is, fuck, what about if it's June, his contract's up? Answer the fucking question.
Finish? Yeah, and I was going to if you'd have let me speak.
No,
I don't get to answer. Okay, cool. What I was going to say is if they've decided not to renew his contract, then maybe it's not him making the decision to sign those players to begin with.
Yeah, but you can't say that, because that's like coating him with all the bad and none of the good, right? That's making
that would be in fact all good.
No, but it's making us. That's exactly what people said about Levy, right? He's done all the bad, but takes no credit for any of the good. You can't do that. You can't. Maddison, not a bad signing. Kudos, not a bad signing. These players ain't all bad, but yet everybody wants to brush him. Look, I don't rate Berghvall or Gray, but I'm pretty sure they've been our player of the season the last 2 seasons, right? Yet everyone slams Lange. I think Lange is crap. I think he's better than Paratici. I think that guy got a free pass for some no reason I'll never know. But people are praising the players that he's brought in. They've won player of the season 2 in a row. Kudos, I think, is class. Yavi, everyone said, was class before he played for us. And yet we bash and bash and bash and bash because of the bad stuff he does. And he has done a lot of bad. But you have to praise as well as good. I bash Tel, but I still praise his end product, his ability to cross a ball. Why can't you do one or both? It's always bash, bash, bash rather than see both sides of the coin.
Mate, I just honestly, I just think like we've got a proper coach in place finally. It would just be really nice if we could have the same caliber of DOF and like really mean business, because until you've got like a top executive team, your decisions aren't going to be as good as what they could be.
So my question to you is, if we sign Sanusi, Robertson,
Sanusi,
Van, yeah,
Oven in defence.
But if we sign the 4 players that we're
linking all season long,
But if we sign all 4 of them a week within the transfer market opens, is that not showing signs of intent?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Like, but as we've
Well,
seen
well
before,
then.
we have to see that.
Yeah,
Hang
I
on,
mean,
we
it
have
would
to
have
see
been
the
it
whole-
would have been the same when I've been there. Yeah, we would have been there
Hang on,
already.
we have to look at the whole window, right, to give him a proper.
Of course,
grade.
but we're
You know?
only the window's not even open yet. So the question was, if all of those come in before the World Cup, is that not showing signs of intent? Is that not pushing us in the right direction? Is that not trying to get us out of the hole?
It is definitely a good start. I will say that.
And who gets credit for that?
I don't know. You tell me.
Well, it would be the Lewises, and it would be Lange and stuff. It would. They would all have to take some credit, and Vinay, and I think they're all a joke. I don't think any of them are good enough. But if they all come in, you have to give them praise. You have to.
Well, that depends on, like, you know, it's the same thing as, like, okay, well, who made the decision? Who made the decision?
Well, that depends.
Who made the
Negative.
decision? Hang on. By that rationale, who made the decision to keep Frank on for as long as he did? Who made the decision to bring in Igor Tudor? And then who usurped who, you know, in so doing, right? And then who made the decision to then bring in Roberto De Zerbi?
So, yeah, who made the decision to bring De Zerbi? Who made the decision to sign Xavi? Who made the decision to sign Kudos? You can go round in circles with the good
My point
and the
being,
bad.
though, is, like, you know, at some point, you can't. Someone's got to take the credit, and you know, I'm sure the Lewises would love to take the credit, but like ultimately, who's really making decisions? Argument would say, given how long that Frank stayed on, that. Okay, that's freaky. You know, with that said or whatever else, that then they got usurped, right? So Lang got usurped by the powers that be. At one stage, it was like Charrington, and then it was the bean counter, and whatever else, right? And then it was the son-in-law.
Hugo, we tried, we work harder, better, stronger,
shitter,
passing, working. It didn't work out, but we tried. Okay?
Well, you might get a job at Fulham, so it's not all bad.
Nah, don't mind. Don't Fulham, good club, good players. Work harder, better, faster, stronger. Sorry, Hugo, carry on, mate. I'll go.
I do. You know, I'm not his biggest fan, Hugo, and in particular for the interview, it's more about what he's, you know, actually said than what I think he's done. That I'm not his biggest fan, but we do have to accept that it's not all going to be on him, that what's been done and what's not been done.
No,
it's very much going to be in a transfer team. You know, it's very much going to be a group of people who've been making decisions, and ultimately, Lange isn't the one making the decisions, is he? He's not going to be. He's going to be the one doing legwork. We know for sure that he wasn't doing negotiations, you know, pre-Vinay, and I suspect he's not doing negotiations post-Vinay either. And they've brought that Rafi guy in.
From the City Group, right?
Yeah. So
Mortensen.
Yeah, absolutely. So we can only judge going forwards, but what I will judge on.
What's it?
Yeah, Rafi Mawson. You know, what I will judge them on is what happens over the next couple of months.
Look, I'm
to the end of July.
All I can tell you is that, you know, while I know you think that I'm like, you know, negative Nancy as far as like my take on things, I'm just like, we finally have a coach we can be excited about, and by the looks of it, that the players are excited about. And with that in mind, I just want him to actually be given the players that he wants, right? Is that Pedro, is it?
Yeah, but That's what we're saying. The two centre backs coming in. The two centre backs coming in
No, they
are
look class,
exactly
mate. They're
his
class.
plays. They're his players, right?
Yeah, they look
Everything
class.
you would say. That's so. I hate the club or the owners, and as much as the next guy, I hate them. But I'm not going to sit here and lie and go. Since Levy left, the caliber of player we've tried to sign hasn't been better, because I believe it has. Haven't got them all over the line, and we haven't done enough. That's just years and years and years of neglecting. Oh my, that's years and years and years.
Hi, how's everyone doing? What are we talking about, Tottenham?
I've got him on 2 screens.
I've only got it working. You know what I mean?
Oh, fucking hell.
Yeah, this is
Oh.
yeah, I turn affairs, I know.
I'm changing club.
What's that famous Sean Locke line? That's a tough.
Tough wank. Yeah, well, yeah. Match.
Why is that so realistic?
All right, we're done with this. We're done with this. The fucking
This is insane.
Oh no! Fucking hell. That's probably gonna turn someone in the chat. Do you know that?
Yeah, there you go. 2 pints. Levy. Connor's in the house. 2 pints.
Mate, nah, not with that voice. Could you imagine them complaining when you woke up?
Listen, guys, how many signings did they get through the window? We'll round off in a second. How many people are going to get through the window or through the door before the World Cup? Are we going to see any actual official? Here we go, like shirts held before. What day is it? It's
It opens on the 15th. Doesn't the market open on the 15th?
Yes.
World Cup on the
Opening
11th,
game's
wasn't it?
the 17th, isn't it?
Yeah,
Oh,
but
is it 17th?
so Nessi's not at the World Cup. Savinho's not at the World Cup.
Yeah.
Robertson's not at the World Cup. And Van Hecker is at the World Cup. So that won't happen. But of the other 3, okay, well, I'll extend it until the 15th. Do we see those signings on the 15th? All 3 of them?
Yeah.
I forgot Wharton's not at the World Cup, mate. Come on.
And Wharton's not the World Cup either, so we'll get that one done as well.
That's what you've got to use that in the negotiations, isn't it? Like, look, mate, Henderson's gone. He ain't that good. Do you know what I mean? So Henderson's been picked above him, mate. He ain't that good. 50 million.
And how many people do you think we're going to sign before the start of the season?
8
8 out.
8, I reckon.
Yeah, I was going to say 7, 8.
We need 7, 8, so it bloody better be.
I just pray it's not crickets come Monday. That's all.
It looks to me like they're doing. It looks to me like they're doing business. It looks to me. I mean, you know, there's that rumor that we're looking to shift Tel out. We didn't sign Paulinia, so they must have eyes on something else.
Yeah,
it looks to me like they are going. We need to do something this summer.
And it's the right people talking, right? It is the right people. You're hearing the right stuff from the right people, I suppose, is the other thing. I'd understand if it was like me or you guys tweeting and saying, yeah, we'd link, but you are hearing, if they're not fully credible, fairly credible people that are linking us with these sort of players. And you know, Ornstein this morning or a couple of days ago, they're the sort of players you want to hear from. So,
yeah, I mean, we've had 2 here we goes, and we've heard from Ornstein. So, yeah, you got.
And I would argue that those 2 could be our new 2 centre backs over Van der Ven. I think they're better defensively than Van der Ven.
I don't think at the same time. I think that you need someone with pace. So like you'll have you'll have Senesi, or you'll have Micky and Necker. Either way, though, it's still exciting. Guys, let's round it off. We've been going for 3 hours. It's been a massive show. I was supposed to come on for an hour, but then we all got out of hand. Love to all of you for coming on. Love to everyone for being in the chat. Thank you to all the super chats. Please don't forget, guys, just above you can't really see it there, but SpursHub.co.uk, your one-stop shop for all of your football fan content in the Tottenham space, all of the YouTubers, all of the podcasters, all of the bloggers, all of them in one spot. We've also got World Cup predictions, prizes to be won, And they've got our own version of Twitter called Hubber that's opening up very, very soon in the next, well, probably tonight or tomorrow. So keep a lookout for that. Go over to Spurs Hub. Don't forget also OK Jersey at the bottom there, 15% off using code Sean15 at checkout. I want to say a massive thank you to you, Hugo.
Thank you, mate.
You
Thanks
too,
for having me on.
Moreno. Big up to you, Rain. Big up to you, Haydenite. And big up to James Flower, always with the worst takes, but the funniest delivery in the game. And, of course, big up to my man, Drewski, who popped on earlier on in his lunch break. Love to see you all. I'll see you tomorrow.
And Alex.
Oh, and Alex. Yeah, of course. Alex came on for 3 or 4 minutes, didn't he?
When are you coming and do a proper day's graph rather than sit around making websites? What's going on?
Listen, mate. Listen. You know, if I wanted to get on my knees and fix you, Benz, mate, I would have Titan faucets or whatever they call them. And so you do you, mate. I'm going to do me. Good luck to us both, eh? Good luck to everybody else.
It's actually good. I did go on it earlier after we spoke because I've been away. I come back and went on it. It's actually really good. I was expecting it to be pretty shit. I'm not going to lie to you, but it was actually decent. I flipped through it and I actually thought it was decent. So they should go over and have a little look at it. It's actually decent.
Appreciate you, mate. Appreciate the feedback. Appreciate everyone that's done that. Literally, Connor saying, come round mine if you want to do that, Sean. 2 points, I'll bring the GC mark, all right? There we go. Appreciate everybody. Love you all. I'll see you tomorrow with no doubt some more shameless clickbait content. That's what we do here. What do you want from me? I don't know, but I'm going to deliver the shamelessness regardless. See you soon, guys. As always, please do like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Cheers. Bye.